Chapter 1170. The Forbidden Sea was vast and boundless. No matter how far you went, you couldn't seem to see the end of the sea. The 33 immortal islands were known as all the forces in the sea. However, the furthest of the 33 immortal islands was less than 500,000 miles away from the coastline. It sounded extremely far, but for powerhouses, Emperor-level powerhouses could easily tear space and travel 1,000 miles in one step. Hundreds of thousands of miles. If you didn't care about the cost, you could reach it quickly. Saints and heavenly kings were even faster. Some people once went deep into the sea, but it was extremely dangerous, and it was still difficult to see the end. On the day of the cat tree's return, the day the catacombs rebuilt the heavenly court, deep in the sea, an island that looked like a fairyland was faintly discernible above the sea. On the immortal island, birds were singing and flowers were fragrant. Birds and beasts wandered freely on the island. On the huge immortal island, from time to time, some people could be seen flying into the sky and burrowing into the ground, like immortals, very free. An undiscovered, overseas, immortal island. An immortal island that was not among the 33 immortal islands. In the center of the island, in a colorful land, there were pavilions, small bridges, and flowing water. Fish swam in the water, very comfortable. Leisurely, the surrounding small lakes rippled. In a pavilion, a young man was fishing with a fishing rod. Behind him, 2 young women, one holding a fan, gently fanning the man. A person was brewing tea, and the fragrance of the tea overflowed. The young man smiled, staring at the water, suddenly holding the fishing rod in his hand. The next moment, a small golden fish was caught out of the water. At this moment, footsteps came from behind. "Greetings, young master." The 2 maids bowed slightly to greet. The person who came was also a young man, looking young, with some arrogance on his face. Young, he was really young, not the old antique's youthful appearance. "Master," the young man who had just arrived shouted, standing behind the fishing young man with a respectful face. The fishing young man did not reply, took back the fishing rod, and put the small golden fish into the bamboo basket beside him. After doing all this, he turned around and said with a smile, "Death is here, sit." The fishing young man said with a smile, "You are lucky. I just caught a spirit dragon fish. I will cook it myself later. I guarantee you will swallow your tongue." The young man hurriedly smiled and said, "Master is personally cooking. This disciple is indeed lucky. Master hasn't cooked for a long time." The fisherman laughed and gestured for him to sit down. The maidservant began to pour tea. The fragrance of the tea permeated the air. Spiritual chi swept out, forming a small spiritual chi vortex in midair. The fishing man frowned slightly, and the expression of the servant girl who was pouring tea changed slightly. Seeing this, the young man, Mia, hurriedly said, "Let me do it." After saying those words, he stood up and personally poured tea for the fisherman. This time, the vortex of spiritual energy in the air dissipated, not the slightest bit exposed. The spiritual energy was restrained, and the tea in the teacup was golden yellow, just like ordinary tea. The fishing man nodded slightly and said with a light smile, "That's right. Drinking tea was also a form of cultivation. The path of cultivation is ever-changing, yet it doesn't deviate from the core. The strength of one's realm is not important. For cultivators, the strength of power, the strength of the flesh, the strength of the spiritual sense, these are the basics. Basically, the first is the control of power. The second is the combination of cultivation methods. The third is weapons and equipment. The fourth is battle experience, courage, and strategy." The fishing man still had a smile on his face. "When Yunya poured tea for you, your power didn't leak out, and the spiritual energy in the spiritual tea was controlled within. That's enough for you to master the control of power. Yunmia said humbly, Master, you flatter me. I'm still lacking in many areas. Not bad. The fishing man picked up the teacup and took a sip. Then he waved his hand lightly, and the two maidservants bowed and left. Their steps were light, and they didn't make any sound. After they left, the fishing man smiled faintly. In the era of great competition, everyone is fighting. The human world is fighting, and the land is fighting. Everyone is fighting. Cultivation is like rowing a boat against the current. If you don't move forward, you will fall behind. 8,000 years have passed. The fishing man sighed softly, and his eyes were filled with vicissitudes of life. He said slowly, It's time to end it. Yunmia listened attentively. Seeing that the man had stopped talking, he said softly, Master, is this the real great era? Yes. The fishing man stood up, looked outside the island, and murmured, Every time it feels like a great era is coming. In the age of chaos, when the chaotic heavenly king was born, I thought the great era was coming. In the era of the demon emperor dynasty, when the dynasty was unified, I also thought the great era was coming. In the era of the 100 schools of thought, I thought the great era was coming again. But they were all wrong. The man sighed, shook his head, and said, In those times there were people who rose, but they didn't reach that point. This time is different. Those who should have appeared have appeared. The man chuckled and said, The subduing heavenly king who has been in hibernation for many years, Hongyu, who has been hiding for many years, the fallen heavenly hound, Sherpa, who died back then, the powerful cat palace chief who died before the heavenly realm was destroyed, Li Zhu, who has been hiding in the dynasty, unquestionable Jian, who has been hiding in the human world. Other than them, there are the reincarnations of the 4 emperors, the martial King Zhang Tao of the human world, the current King Fong Ping of the human world, the heavenly beloved cat. The man named one person after another, and said emotionally, The 3 realms have been created since the origin, and the essence is in this era. If it isn't this time, there won't be a next time. In this era, someone will definitely become an emperor, or even create a new Tao. The man's last 4 words caused the void to tremble. Yunmia's mouth was dry. Create a new Tao. 30,000 years ago, the Tao of origin was created, and Chu Wu ended. The Tao of origin was the only Tao in this era. They were all going for the Tao of origin. The Tao of origin became the only Tao in the 3 realms, the strongest Tao. Everyone wanted to prove their Tao. But now his master said that someone might create a new Tao. Each Tao was stronger than the last. If it wasn't for the fact that the Tao of origin was stronger than Chu Wu, it wouldn't have replaced Chu Wu as the only Tao in the 3 realms, and the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors wouldn't have been born. However, since the Tao was created 30,000 years ago, until 20,000 years ago, the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors proved their Tao. After that, there was peace for more than 10,000 years, and there were no new emperors in the 3 realms. 8,000 years ago, the heavenly realm fell, and a new chapter began. The 3 realms went from prosperity to decline, and it entered a chaotic state of war. Master, is there really a Tao more powerful than the Tao of origin? Yun Mia's mouth was dry, and he said, The Tao of origin has no end. I feel that the Tao of origin is already extremely powerful. Does this new Tao exist? Where there is a will, there is a will. The fishing man chuckled. During the Chu Wu period, no one thought there was a Tao more powerful than the Tao of beginning martial arts. Those Chu Wu leaders were all heroes. But during the transition period between the Chu Wu and the 3 realms, the heroes fought for supremacy. Some rising stars defeated those Chu Wu leaders. The Chu Wu declined, and it became a thing of the past. The man exclaimed, During that era, the 9 sovereigns were still young and inexperienced. They fought everywhere, defeated the Chu Wu, and became emperors. The deity emperor defeated the Chu Wu martial god and became emperors in the land realm. The East sovereign defeated the Chu Wu sword god and broke the Chu Wu sword. The sword god's sword was destroyed, and the East sovereign died. The human sovereign defeated the Chu Wu sword god and killed him to prove his Tao in the human realm. The earthly sovereign, one by one, the man described the battles of the emperors. He exclaimed, "First, there were the 9 emperors. Then, there was the emperor of heaven reverse who rose on the Chua land. After reaching the golden body stage, he began to cultivate origin energy. He wanted to become the second elementary martial artist. Unfortunately, he did not become the second one. Yin Mia murmured, those emperors and celestial emperors are dragons and phoenixes among men. You are wrong." The man shook his head. They are heroes, heaven's prides. But that is fate. Chaotic Heaven King, Hongyu, Li Zhu, subduing Heaven King. Are they really not as good as them? Not necessarily. But have they become emperors? Have they reached the peak of the Tao? No. The man answered his own question and sighed, because the timing is not right. Due to bad luck, none of them succeeded. Therefore, they lay dormant, waiting for the next opportunity, for the next battle. If the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors could prove their Tao at that time, then next time, someone can do it. The man looked at Yun Mia again and said with a smile, "Today, the time has come. This time, everyone will come back. Fight. Fight for a chance. Fight for their lives. No one is willing to accept that they will fail. Why can the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors do it, but not them? They are not weaker than the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. Therefore, they are not willing. This time, they will give it their all." "Master, you also have a chance." Yunmia looked at the man and said softly, "Are you going to come out this time?" The man smiled. I will also take a gamble. Not only me, but you and your fellow apprentices will also have a chance." The man's eyes were deep as he drank the tea in one gulp. "I have waited for a long time. I've also done many tests and experiments. Annihilation, your senior apprentice brother, there was someone who fought against the geniuses of this generation, but he was no match for them and died in battle in the 3 realms. Someone replaced him and became the generation's hero, the era's favorite. At first, I wanted to replace him, but then I realized there is no need for that." The man said calmly, "You can also kill the current generation's prides, gather the invincible momentum, gather the heaven and earth's providence, and become invincible. I've already received news that in this generation, many seeds have emerged from the human world, seeds of supreme experts. Martial King Zhang Tao, a heavenly king. Human King Fang Ping, a true god, had the combat strength of a sage. These 2 are the generation's peerless seeds. There is also the longevity swordsman, Li Changsheng. If the 2 of them are the 9 sovereigns, he is the new generation's 4 emperors candidate. Yunmia, this time, it is time for you to graduate. First kill Li Changsheng, then kill Maple King. Huai King, destroy overseas immortal islands Luo Yu, Yu Wuhua, Longxian, kill North Emperors Ling Shao, gather the invincible momentum. Fight Hades, defeat him, then fight Human King, kill him, then kill Martial King." The man looked at his disciple, his eyes deep. "If you kill Martial King, you will become the strongest. Master and disciple, we will fight the 3 realms again, and this generation will achieve Tao." Yun Mia swallowed and said softly, "Master, the 4 emperors' reincarnations." The man closed his eyes and thought for a moment, then sighed. "As a master, I teach and solve doubts. I have learned the Tao and the 4 emperors' teachings, so I have some ties, but the fight for Tao is extremely cruel. The 4 emperors have not grown up yet. When they grow up, I'll personally make a move and settle things with them." Yunmia did not ask further, but said hesitantly, I have only just entered the emperor rank. Once I kill the others, human King Fong Ping will have the combat strength of a sage. Emperor rank? The man chuckled. How can others understand my bloodline? I have learned the Tao from heaven, destroying Narch. In terms of combat strength, heaven-destroying Narch is stronger than heaven-destroying Narch, but he has always lost and never won. Heaven-destroying Thearka's body is so strong that even Chuwu leader might not be able to defeat him. Yet he has always lost to heaven, destroying Narch. Do you know why? Yunmia pondered. Master once said that the extreme Tao has obvious flaws. Even the four emperors are the same. Although heaven-destroying Thearka's body is strong, his spiritual consciousness is weak. Normal martial artists can't make use of this flaw, but heaven-destroying Narch has always won because of his powerful spiritual consciousness. He forcefully sealed heaven, destroying Thearka's origin. Without the origin, heaven-destroying Narch will naturally lose every battle. That's right. The man smiled. This is the strength of heaven, destroying Thearka's bloodline. Of course, it is not easy to seal the origin. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors are powerhouses of the same rank. Among the 13 powerhouses, heaven-destroying Narch can only seal heaven-destroying Narch. Although the 9 sovereigns' spiritual consciousness is not as strong as heaven-destroying Thearka's, it is average and has no shortcomings, it is difficult for the others to seal heaven-destroying Narch. But heaven-destroying Narch is heaven-destroying Thearka's natural enemy. When the two of them fight, heaven-destroying Narch will always lose. Heaven-destroying Narch is not the weakest powerhouse among the 13, but he has never defeated heaven-destroying Narch. This is probably his biggest regret in life. Hearing this, Yunmia hurriedly said, Then, can I seal the King of Man? Fong Ping is a rising star. His origin is only at the early stage of true God. No matter what is special about him, his spiritual consciousness is not as strong as yours. You are confident that you can seal his origin. The man looked at Yunmia. However, he has a 9th refined golden body and has the power of a sage. His foundation is also very strong. The reason why I put him last is to remind you that even if you seal his origin, his combat strength will not be weak. He might be close to the strength of an emperor. Remember, it is difficult for you to seal someone whose spiritual consciousness is stronger than yours. If his spiritual consciousness is not as strong as yours, the chances of sealing his origin are very high. However, you have to be careful and think about the consequences of failure. Don't be blindly confident. Yunmia nodded. My spiritual consciousness is much stronger than ordinary emperors. It is comparable to those sages. I am not afraid of fighting with ordinary sages. It is just that the King of Man has the power to kill sages, so I am a little afraid. Being afraid is not a bad thing. The man laughed. One must have a heart of fear. However, being afraid without being afraid is the true meaning of cultivation. If you are not confident, don't fight with Fong Ping easily. I understand. Then you can leave the mountain tomorrow. The man said. Soon, a seal, a set of armor, and a spear appeared in his hand. This is a gift from me to you. Sage order, lock the void. Spirit sage armor, protect the flesh. God-slaying spear, destroy the strong enemy. When you leave tomorrow, bring the 8 mountain-guarding divine beasts with you. Master, Yunmia said hurriedly, I can leave the island by myself. With the mountain-guarding divine beasts around, I will lose the chance to train. The man smiled faintly. They will not attack unless your life is in danger. Remember, the so-called reliance is on yourself. If you don't think about it, you will strengthen yourself instead of blindly escaping from it. That is training. I understand. After replying, Yun Mia took the 3 saint weapons and said happily, "Master, now that disciple has left the mountain, can I introduce myself?" The man smiled faintly. "It is fine. The sky-sealing bloodline has not appeared in the world for a long time. Not many people know about it. In this era of great competition, annihilation come out of seclusion and fight for the heaven-sealing bloodline. Take it as making the heaven-sealing bloodline famous. I will remember this. I will not let the sky-sealing bloodline's reputation be tarnished." Yunmia was looking forward to it. The man stopped teaching and laughed. He looked at the bamboo basket and said, "Help me kill the fish." Yes, killing the fish wasn't that simple. Yunmia reached into the bamboo basket with one hand. In the next moment, the small golden fish in the bamboo basket suddenly opened its mouth and bit at his hand. Yunmia harumphed and slammed his palm forward, causing sparks to fly. At that moment, the tail of the golden fish suddenly expanded countless times and swept over like a dragon's tail. A loud rumble rang out. A bloody gash appeared on Yunmia's finger. Yunmia seemed to be enraged. He sneaked a glance at the man and felt embarrassed that he had to go through so much trouble to kill a fish. Seal. At that moment, Yunmia harumphed coldly. The air trembled as a gate that seemed to have come from the ancient times descended from the sky. There was a loud boom. The gate fell into the bamboo basket and entered the golden fish's body. The initially powerful fish's aura suddenly dropped by more than half. At that moment, Yunmia harumphed and grabbed the fish with a single hand. The golden fish cried out in pain under his grip. Soon, a human voice could be heard. "Lord, spare me," as if he didn't hear it. Yunmia's sharp fingernail instantly slid across the fish's abdomen. Ryup! The fish's intestines were cut open, revealing its translucent organs. A crystal bottle appeared in Yunmia's other hand, and he poured out a large amount of liquid to wash the fish's organs. Then a thin knife appeared in his hand, and he started to scrape off the fish's scales. The golden scales fell off, and the fish let out a shrill cry. Yunmia glanced at the man, who was looking at him silently. He released his mental energy again and sealed the fish completely, silencing it. The man continued to watch as Yunmia dealt with the spirit dragonfish, as if he didn't see it. It wasn't until Annihilation scraped the scales off the fish, rinsed its internal organs over and over again, and was about to extinguish its vital energy that the man smiled and said, "There's no need to kill it. Fish, you have to eat something fresh. Only when it's alive will it taste good in the pot." The spirit dragonfish is only a little more common now. In ancient times, even I would have a hard time eating one. Zhang Xian sighed. Yunmia knew the story behind it. In ancient times, this fish was so delicious that it was almost eaten by a cat. No one would be able to eat it. If anyone caught this fish and didn't give it to the cat, the spirit emperor would come knocking on their door. The man sighed and said, "In the past, when we destroyed the Heaven Palace, any brother who caught a spirit dragonfish had to give it to that cat. Now, things have changed. That cat isn't as domineering as it used to be." Yunmia smiled as he dealt with the spirit dragonfish. "Master, that cat is only at the emperor level now." The man waved his hand lightly. "Don't provoke that cat. That cat is unusual. Although it's only at the emperor level, the sky's sealing lineage might not be able to seal its great Tao. In the past, even the 9 emperors couldn't seal its great Tao. Emperor level. It's an emperor level. You might not be its match. Moreover, the cat's strength isn't just in strength. Remember, if you meet it, try to avoid it. Disciple understands. Don't call it by its name. A cat is a cat. If you don't mention its name, it can't do anything to you. Disciple understands." The man nodded and smiled. "Don't mention it. Someone will deal with this cat. The Chu Wu lineage hasn't been completely wiped out. Killing the cat failed in the ancient times, but it might not be the case now. Killing the cat. Yun Mie looked at the man, who said indifferently, "It'll happen sooner or later. Of course, if someone kills it, someone else will protect it. Let's see if this cat can be destroyed, and if it'll affect the Daos of the origin after it's destroyed. We don't know yet, but some people might not be willing to gamble. Master, if the cat dies, will our source of the great Tao really be shaken?" The man pondered for a moment, then smiled. "Not necessarily. Some people are just bluffing. Heaven extermination. The Arch once said that if the great Tao is strong enough and sturdy enough, the cat's death won't affect anything. Some people who only look impressive might have their great Tao shattered. If those people die, then so be it." Yunmia understood and didn't worry about this anymore. Clearly, he felt that his great Tao was sturdy and wouldn't be affected. The master and disciples started to cook the spirit dragonfish. A spirit dragonfish in the desperation realm. The desperation Fae, with its origin sealed, was just ordinary. It wasn't a match for the master and disciple. Soon, the smell of fish came from the island. Some of the Fae hissed in a low voice, then quickly calmed down. At the same time, in the Forbidden Ocean, in a heavenly realm fragment, deep within the heavenly realm fragment, there were cracks in the void. Some dilapidated palaces were swaying, as if they would collapse at any moment. Outside a relatively intact palace, a person stood, holding a saber in his hand and carrying a longbow on his back. He looked at the dilapidated palace with an indifferent expression. Wang Jinyang. Wang Jinyang had been missing since he left the Nanjiang catacombs. There was a plaque hanging on the top of the palace in front. It was also dilapidated. Tyrant. Wang Jinyang glanced at the plaque and seemed to recognize it. He said softly, "The Palace of Heaven, Tyrant Darch? I don't think so. It's built by his successor." As he spoke, he shook his head and said with a smile, "Does he have a successor?" After teaching a few people, he left behind a cultivation technique and disappeared. Disciples will have to search the entire 3 realms to find him. Rather than looking for him in the Heaven Tyrant Palace, they might as well go to the Heaven Destroyer Palace. If the disciples of Heaven Tyrant, the Arch, wanted to find this master, they would have to try their luck at the Heaven Destroyer Palace, because Heaven Destroyer Palace was frequented by Heaven Destroyer Palace. As for his own Heaven Destroyer Palace, they might not even visit it once in 100 years. It was also in a hurry. As he spoke, Wang Jinyang stepped in. In the dilapidated palace, there was almost nothing left. Wang Jinyang did not care and looked around for a while. Soon, he saw the dilapidated but domineering statue in the center of the palace. It was arrogant. The figure of the statue was dressed in armor. It held its head high and raised its fist as if it was showing off. Wang Jinyang looked for a while and smiled. He took a step forward and suddenly reached out his hand to pat the head of the statue. He said with a smile, "Heaven Tyrant, let me borrow the power of your jade bone." As he spoke, he punched the head of the statue. The flesh on his hand instantly exploded, revealing the white bones. It was a terrifying sight. Wang Jinyang did not seem to see it. At this moment, the head of the statue was smashed by him, revealing a jade-colored long thread inside. Wang Jinyang reached out and grabbed the long thread. The long thread struggled. It was extremely sharp, instantly cutting the bones in his hand and making a cracking sound. "You're already dead. Do you think you can defeat me with just a strand of hair?" Wang Jinyang laughed. "Your head is so hard. Don't tell me it's because you plucked out all your hair. How many people did you give your hair to? That's enough." Having said that, he could not help but talk to himself. He laughed. "I shouldn't have tricked Qin Fengqing back then. tricking you to pluck out all your hair is probably not a problem. As his voice fell, he let out a low roar. His vitality surged and forcefully captured the jade-colored long hair. Then, his vitality wrapped around the hair as if he was extracting something. In an instant, an incomparably surging force erupted from the top of his head. Wang Jinyang gritted his teeth and forcefully absorbed this force into his body. Bang! His flesh exploded. Wang Jinyang ignored it and continued to absorb this force. Wrong, Sai. Extreme Tao. Extreme Tao. Extreme Tao. That's someone else's Tao. In his mind, there seemed to be an invisible voice. Wang Jinyang was calm and collected. He said slowly, I'll walk my Tao. There's no need to point fingers at someone who's already dead. The voice dissipated. There was no more sound. Chapter 1171. In the dilapidated hall, Wang Jinyang's body shone. Broken, mended, broken, mended. Soon, the strand of hair was completely shattered. Wang Jinyang exhaled softly, his face slightly pale. He was different from others. Others had golden bones after rank 8, but he had never forged golden bones. However, his white bones were also glowing jade. They were not jade bones, but they were not weaker than golden bones. Vitality path. Wang Jinyang chuckled after sensing his qi and blood. Extreme Tao. The reason why Extreme Tao was called Extreme Tao was because the other Taos were difficult to walk. Hence, he gave up on the other Taos and focused on one Tao. Was Extreme Tao the correct path? If so, why did the Extreme Path Heavenly Emperor not become an emperor? Jean, are you really dead? Wang Jinyang murmured softly, but no one answered. Soon, Wang Jinyang smiled and said, Actually, I hope that you're not dead. If that's the case, you will be you, and I will be me. And I am not someone you can entrust yourself to. Still silence. Wang Jinyang did not care. He exhaled softly and walked out of the hall. Looking at the shattered void, he murmured, Maybe I should go deeper. It would be better if I can find some of the heaven-exterminating emperor's remains. It was dangerous to go deeper. The deeper one went, the more likely it was to encounter great terror. There might even be some monsters in the early stage of martial arts in the depths of the Forbidden Sea. Those monsters were isolated from the world and might not have cultivated the origin path. They were more similar to the early stage of martial arts. Not only that, there was great terror in the depths. Celestial Cemetery, Wang Jinyang murmured. The Celestial Cemetery was in the depths of the Forbidden Sea. Countless powerhouses died in the core area of the Great War. It was a place of boundless danger. There were even emperors lingering on their last breaths. Heavenly Hound and the others went there. He did not know what the situation was like now. Wang Jinyang thought about it and laughed. That was fine. If Heavenly Hound and the others went, even if they could not do anything, they could still cause chaos in the Celestial Cemetery for a while and prevent it from affecting the three realms. Otherwise, if someone walked out of the Celestial Cemetery at this stage, the three realms would be in chaos and the humans would suffer. He stepped out of the Celestial Realm fragment. After losing the statue and the hair of the Celestial Monarch, it was as if the world had lost the last bit of energy supporting it. With a loud boom, the void exploded and the pocket dimension disappeared completely. Wang Jinyang didn't even turn his head. It was hard to tell if he was feeling a little sad. This was the place left behind by one of the few disciples of Emperor Batian. Back then, many of the disciples of other emperors had recovered, but how many of the disciples of the four emperors had recovered? He might really die. After all, the four emperors were different from the monarchs. Some of them even walked the path of the initial martial lineage. Without source energy, how could they recover? If he died, then he would really die. After flying for a distance in the sea, Wang Jinyong suddenly turned around and said softly, "Earth is depending on you. I'm afraid I won't be back for a long time. You can hold on." Earth was much more powerful than before. Many, many more. However, Wang Jinyong knew that this was only the beginning. At this juncture, the people who should appear were about to appear. This time, it was more dangerous than any other time. Those who were alive, those who were dead, heavenly kings, saints, beginner martial artists, without exception, they would all appear one by one. Earth, the center of the storm. When the last passageway opened, it would also be the most dangerous time for Earth. It would be completely exposed to the eyes of the powerhouses of the three realms. The land that had completely lost its barrier might be surrounded by powerful enemies. He must strive to rush back before that day. Join the war. Participate in the war of defense. Participate in the war of the human race's rise and fall. Wang Jinyong left these words, and his figure quickly disappeared on the spot. It was time to go. The catacombs. Outland. Fang Ping restrained his aura and appeared in the outland again. On Mount Royal Sea, Fang Ping stood alone, looking at the catacombs, looking at the new heaven and earth that seemed to have a thin membrane between heaven and earth. For a moment, he was a little dazed, looking back, looking at the outland, looking at those human cities. Fang Ping was getting more and more lonely. Old Zhang and the others were not here. This Mount Royal Sea only had him. At this moment, he was too lonely. Where were the people who had fought side by side with him in the past? They were all gone. Now, only he could stand here and defend this endless line of defense of humans. "I will wait for you guys to come back." Fang Ping murmured softly, "How can I defend this long line of defense alone? How can I fight in all directions alone? Come back quickly. Lonely. There was no one to fight side by side with me." At this moment, there was suddenly an extra aura behind him. Fang Ping did not even turn his head, saying lightly, "Go, seeing that you have helped the human race a few times. I won't kill you." Behind him, an incomparably cold youth, whose appearance was somewhat similar to unquestionable swords, looked at Fang Ping's back, speechless for a long time. After standing there for an unknown amount of time, his voice was cold, his tone complicated. "You are really not the Demon Emperor." "I am not." Fang Ping smiled and said, "I am Fang Ping, unique." "The Demon Emperor. Is the Demon Emperor very strong?" "You are not Master." "Master." This person was not a human, but a demon, the demon swordsman. In Mount Royal Sea, the demon overlord, the top rank, 9 powerhouse, the demon swordsman. Now it had taken form. This was the symbol of a pinnacle, ranked in the top 10 of rank 9. It was now also a pinnacle Taoist. It led the millions of demons in Mount Royal Sea, forming its own territory, living in Mount Royal Sea, forming its own lineage. That day, that person, is he Master? The cold youth was like an abandoned child, a little expectant, a little sad. Fang Ping lied to it. He was not the Demon Emperor, not the Master. However, the person who fought side by side with the king that day, it felt vaguely familiar. Was it Master? Fang Ping turned around, smiled, and said, "Maybe. You are not stupid. You have proven you're Taoist. You should understand some things. Since you are here today, let me ask you, if one day I become his enemy, will you help him or help me?" The demon swordsman looked at him. After a while, said in a low voice, "Master helped me achieve Tao. If Master has an order, this little demon will definitely die." "Stupid guy." Fang Ping laughed, waved his hand, and said, "Get lost. I will not clash with your master for the time being. If it really comes to that, I will spare you once. I will not kill you. In this world, there are not many people who can still keep their hearts. There are many people who are foolishly loyal. But you are a demon. Maybe it will be different." As he said that, he added, "Bring the demons under your command. Leave Mount Royal Sea as soon as possible. This place will soon become the battlefield of the two realms." A third force. Although you have proven your Tao, can a mere paragon rival the powerhouses of the two realms? The demon swordsman was silent. After a moment of silence, said, "This little demon has already contacted everywhere. Maybe they will build another forbidden land in the sea, Mount Royal Sea Demons. Although not a match for all sides, they will not be bullied by all sides. The idea is good. The result may be sad. Demons." Fang Ping smiled and said, "The demons of this era may not have much space to survive, unless the bloodline of the Beast Emperor shows their strength." After saying that, Fang Ping did not care anymore, continued to patrol along Mount Royal Sea. In the current Imperial Sea Mountain, he was the only one who could patrol everywhere without fear. Even Wu Quishan could not. He who had just entered the Paragon, Fang Ping was still worried that he would be surrounded and killed in Mount Royal Sea. Behind, the demon swordsman did not follow anymore. Watching Fang Ping leave, its gaze was also incomparably complicated. Although it was deceived by Fang Ping a few times, it did not hate, only felt that it was a pity. It was a pity that the King of Man was not the master. This boundlessly domineering King of Man killed strong enemies in all directions, suppressed the human world alone. The human world rose because of him. Such a person, if the master, how good would that be? Mount Royal Sea. Fang Ping continued to walk. Very soon, a bounded domain covered by a large formation appeared. In the next moment, a figure appeared. Xianhua, the powerhouse from the Xuanda Grotto heaven, when he first came out of the mountain, vowed to find Fang Ping to spar, to make Fang Ping pay the price, who asked Fang Ping to empty the Xuanda Grotto heaven. In the Battle of the King's battleground, the Xuanda Emperor Xian Ji also made a move. He made a move for the human race. Because of this, although the Xuanda Grotto heaven's strength was not considered strong, it still existed at this moment, dominating a part of the Outland because of the human race's support. Fang, King of Man. Xianhua was getting older. In the past, many people on the rank, 9 wind and cloud list had achieved Dao, but he had not. When he first met Fang Ping was still only rank 8 strength. Now, Fang Ping had killed a saint, but he was still only rank 9 strength. He could no longer be like before. Mentioning that kid Fang Ping the moment, he opened his mouth. "Senior Xianhua." Fang Ping laughed. Xianhua hurriedly said, "Senior, you flatter me. King of Man, are you patrolling Mount Royal Sea?" "Yes." Fang Ping laughed. "It's fine here with the Xuanda Grotto heaven guarding. It's not a problem. A few days ago, the catacombs rebuilt the heavenly court. It wasn't too much of an impact here, was it?" Xianhua immediately said, "It wasn't affected much," but Xianhua hesitated, but still said, "But the catacombs sent an emissary here, wanting to confer the Xuanda Grotto heaven. He stamped the heavenly king order, requesting the Xuanda Grotto heaven to join the heavenly court. What do you think, Senior?" Fang Ping was not angry, smiling. "Senior, don't worry, Venerable Emperor Xian Ji fought for the human race before. This is friendship. Now it's time to make a choice. After all, the catacombs have 9 saints. I can understand Senior's choice." The Xuanda Grotto heaven actually still had a true god guarding it. However, he did not sense this true god's aura today. Fang Ping did not know where he went, nor did he ask. Xianhua exhaled softly, saying quickly, "Naturally, I'm still leaning towards the human race, including the sect leader. But now, the human race in the catacombs, after all, is inferior to the catacombs. If I reject now, I'm worried that the catacombs will retaliate. What I mean is, don't express your stance. Don't reject. King of Humans, please understand." Fang Ping nodded slightly. "I can understand. Actually, in the last battle, Senior Xianqi did not fight. I already guessed it. In that battle, Wu Quishan and the others fought with the catacombs powerhouses. Actually, the human race still had help. The people from the Schwanda Grotto Heaven, the true god of dragon change sky. These two forces, their venerable emperors, had participated in the battle that day, but this time, the powerhouses from both sides did not fight. Fang Ping could understand, but he was more or less disappointed. They could not stand firmly on the human race's side. Of course, in that situation, two true gods could not change anything. They were afraid that after the human race was destroyed, they would also be defeated, directly annihilated. This was actually understandable. Fang Ping's current mentality was much better than before. If it was before, perhaps he would be dissatisfied. Now, he understood a little more. The human race's situation was unclear. How would they dare to pick a side easily? It was not easy to pass down their legacy for so many years. A little carelessness and annihilation would happen overnight. After Fang Ping finished speaking, he smiled. "Senior, don't worry too much. This is good too. Then I'll continue patrolling the various territories, Senior." There was more politeness and less intimacy. Xianhua felt it. Actually, before this, Fang Ping still had a very different view of the Schwanda Grotto Heaven. He was here. Venerable Emperor Xian Ji taught him the golden body honing method, solving old man Li's big problem. Fang Ping also took away a lot of treasures. He even let a few monsters in, causing a lot of trouble for the Schwanda Grotto Heaven. Among the territories, Fang Ping was the closest to this side. Moreover, Schwanda Grotto Heaven was also the birthplace of the Chun family. The Chun family, one clan with two paragons fighting to the death for humans, this was all different. Watching Fang Ping continue to walk on Mount Royal Sea, watching his figure gradually getting further away, Xianhua's expression was conflicted, suddenly shouting in a low voice, "Wait, human king!" Fang Ping turned back. Xianhua's expression changed again, suddenly saying, "In the world of great competition, how can we not fight? Great changes, great chaos. The most taboo is to be at both ends. The strength of the Schwanda Grotto Heaven is not strong. The sect leader is not here, but before the sect leader left, since he chose the human race, today is no exception." As soon as he finished speaking, Xianhua's voice was loud, saying loudly, "Taibai Mountain Schwanda Grotto Heaven is willing to guard the southern territory for the human race forever." As soon as these words came out, the Grotto Heaven was instantly stirred. The catacombs emissary came to confer the title of Schwanda Grotto Heaven. In order to smooth things over, the true god in charge chose to go far away, dragging the catacombs, unwilling to give an answer. On the human side, no one came, nor did they say anything about Schwanda Grotto Heaven. However, at this moment, Xianhua, a non-true god powerhouse, represented the Schwanda Grotto Heaven and gave an answer. This senior rank, 9, at this moment his aura exploded, his aura like a rainbow. After saying that it was not enough, he shouted again, "Taibai Mountain Schwanda Grotto Heaven is willing to guard the southern territory for the human race forever." His voice echoed in all directions. Above the heavenly palace, the Schwanda Grotto Heaven, people walked out one after another. Some were old and some were young. Some were worried, some were fired up. Some wanted to say something, but stopped. Some were relaxed. This time, Xianhua made a decision, made a choice, and clarified the ownership of the Schwanda Grotto Heaven. However, in this way, when the war started again, the Schwanda Grotto Heaven would be seen as a human force. Maybe they would be the first to be destroyed in the great chaos. They were in the outer territory. They did not have a top-notch powerhouse in charge. Unlike the Wanwu bloodline, which had the North Emperor bloodline powerhouses to suppress everywhere, they were also unlike the Weiyu Mountain bloodline. Weiyu Mountain did not have a clear attitude, and now Weiyu Mountain's Jiang Kui had also proven to be a paragon. In addition to the previous paragon powerhouse Jiang Su, one sect had two paragons. In a situation where they did not express their stance, they still had some confidence. Moreover, before Venerable Emperor Qing Tong left, he also revealed a suspected saint-level strength. In this way, the Xuan de Grotto Heaven was the weakest, but it was the first to make a choice, very easily becoming the target of all parties. Below, a young martial artist gritted his teeth and said in a low voice, "Let's do it. At most, we'll fight. Right now, we're so aggrieved, afraid of offending this and that." From afar, Fong Ping looked at the rank 9 who was getting older, suddenly laughed, and said, "Don't you want to discuss with Senior Xuanqi?" Xianhua's aura flourished, saying loudly, "No need. Senior brother is not here. The Xuan de Grotto Heaven's old Taoist has the final say. The Xuan de Grotto Heaven is not strong, but they are willing to fight." Having said that, he shouted again, "Don't worry, King. If the catacombs emissaries come again, the Xuan de Grotto Heaven will chop off their heads and send them to the human world." Fong Ping laughed, looking at him, saying slowly, "If that's the case, the human race is also willing to join hands with the Xuan de Grotto Heaven. From today onwards, the Xuan de Grotto Heaven will be the human race's first grotto heaven." Fong Ping's voice was loud. His aura also erupted, his voice reverberating in all directions. "The Xuan de Grotto Heaven will be the human race's first grotto heaven. If Venerable Emperor Xuanji returns, he will be conferred the title again." As soon as he said that, several mentalities extended over in a continuous manner. There were powerhouses from the catacombs, powerhouses from Weiyu Mountain and Wangwu Mountain. Today, the Xuan de Grotto Heaven, under the decision of a rank 9, had made a choice. Join hands with the human race. No one spoke. No one spoke. They were all observing quietly. Xianhua, the rank 9 martial artist, straightened his back at this moment. Over there seemed to be another aura spreading from the sea, a little anxious, a little panicked. Xuan de Grotto Heaven's only true god powerhouse, Xian Qi. This veteran paragon did not expect that after he said he would not get involved, his junior brother would make a choice after he left. From today onwards, the Xuan de Grotto Heaven would probably be dragged into the quagmire of war. However, at this moment, he was already helpless. Xian Hua informed the 3 realms that the king had made a promise. At this moment, if he dared to say that he was going back on his words, that would completely offend the human race. He was extremely helpless. Perhaps only this powerhouse himself knew how sullen he felt in his heart. Fong Ping continued his journey, not staying long at the Xuan de Grotto Heaven. However, at this moment, Fong Ping no longer hid his aura, releasing his aura, continuing to patrol along the Imperial Sea Mountain. Very soon, he passed by Weiyu Mountain. At Weiyu Mountain, 2 paragon powerhouses soared into the sky. They did not speak, nor did they say anything about joining hands. Weiyu Mountain did not express its stance easily. Fong Ping nodded slightly. The 2 paragon powerhouses bowed and gestured. Fong Ping left in a flash. Jiang Kuei glanced at the direction he left, looked at his uncle Jiang Su, and said with a complicated tone, "Uncle, are you really not going to choose?" Jiang Su said in a low voice, "Now, the catacombs have 9 saints. In the human world, only Fong Ping can fight a saint. As for the others, they might not always join hands with Fong Ping. If they express their stance easily, Weiyu Mountain will be in danger. Before the sect master returns, we can't easily drag Weiyu Mountain into the mire." Jiang Kuei sighed. "But if Fong Ping overpowers the 3 realms and joins hands with the human race, it might be our chance." "No rush," Jiang Su said softly. "Now, actually, it might not be the beginning. When those powerhouses in the fake sky cemetery return, that will be the time for all parties to reshuffle. Before that, the human race is also at its most precarious time. full of uncertainty. At that time, when the sect master returns with the sect master's strength and wisdom, I think the sect master will have a good choice. Jiang Kuei did not say anything else. He only hoped that the sect master, who was his family's elder ancestor, would have a good choice. Although the human race might not be as strong as the other forces, Jiang Kuei and Fang Ping had interacted many times, and vaguely felt that they should choose the human race. Although the catacombs was extremely powerful now, with 9 saints suppressing the 3 realms, Fang Ping's strength improved rapidly. Who could guarantee that the catacombs would always be stronger than the human race? On this day, Fang Ping patrolled the Mount Royal Sea defense line. They passed by Wangwu Mountain. Although the Wangwu lineage did not express their stance, Sage Yuwei's participation in the battle already meant something. Fang Ping crossed the Southern Territory, entering another foreign territory for the first time. First, it was the Western region. The experts guarding the Western region and the 27 Western regions went to Imperial Sea Mountain to accompany the sovereign personage in patrolling the area. Wu Jue was holding down the fort. However, there were many rank 9 martial artists. Every time Fang Ping arrived at a territory, there would be powerhouses coming to greet him and accompany him on patrol. None of the powerhouses from the catacombs in the outer territory dared to show up and stop them. After patrolling the West region, Fang Ping entered the North region very quickly. Experts from the Northern Domain, Hall of Gods, and other holy lands also made their way to Mount Royal Sea. The might of a sovereign personage started spreading throughout the outer regions, the entire human race. Wherever they went, the catacombs' powerhouses retreated. For a moment, Fang Ping was in the limelight. 3 days. After spending 3 whole days, Fang Ping had finally patrolled the entire Mount Royal Sea defense line in the outskirts. Along the way, a saint's mentality descended and was forcefully shattered by Fang Ping. Fang Ping did not care which saint it was. Those who dared to probe, without exception, all of their mentality were shattered. It was incomparably domineering, but no saint showed up. After Fang Ping finished patrolling the outer regions, it had also quietly entered May. Exactly 2 months had passed since the opening of the fake sky grave. At the same time, in the Forbidden Sea, Boundless Mountain, where the Donghuang bloodline was located, the saint-level powerhouses under Donghuang leaped into the air, looking at extermination outside of Boundless Mountain. They frowned slightly, their expressions somewhat solemn. Someone from the extreme Dao bloodline, extermination, laughed. Not really. I'm from the Fengtian bloodline. The Fengtian bloodline. The old saint frowned again. After a while, he said, the ancient Fengtian bloodline. Are you from the extreme Dao bloodline or the beginner bloodline? His mentality was very strong. He was not weaker than him. This kind of powerhouse was either from the extreme Dao bloodline or a powerhouse from the beginner bloodline who walked the path of spiritual consciousness. He must be related to them. Extermination laughed. The Fengtian bloodline has been passed down for 8,000 years. It does not originate from ancient times. After saying that, he looked at Luo Yu, who had just leaped into the air. He looked at his golden body and shook his head slightly. Weaker than I expected. Luo Yu, 3,000 years ago, he was a prodigy from the overseas immortal islands. Now he has only become a true god. He was slightly disappointed. Luo Yu did not give him the feeling that he was too strong. Of course, he was still a rank 9 golden body after advancing from rank 8 to rank 9. After that, he had honed to rank 9, becoming a true god with a rank 9 body. His strength was stronger than the average true god. His physique was also very strong. However, that depended on who he was compared to. Extermination had long become an emperor level. His mentality was comparable to that of a saint. Naturally, he felt that Luo Yu was weak. Luo Yu frowned and looked at him, not saying a word. "I'll give you time." Extermination laughed. "The current you is still not strong enough. I hope you can catch up. Otherwise, you won't have a chance in this life." Luo Yu's aura exploded, his eyes cold. "Are you provoking me?" "I'm not provoking you." Extermination said mildly. "The prodigies of this era are not like that. You are still lacking." The old saint from Emperor Donghuang's faction looked around with a deep look in his eyes. After a while, he said mildly, "Sky's ceiling progeny, I might know where you came from. However, Emperor Donghuang's faction is not afraid of any force." Extermination bowed slightly. "Senior, you are not the one I chose. If you want to fight, my master will come out." The old man's expression changed slightly. Then he snorted coldly. His eyes were sharp, but he suddenly calmed down. "You came out this time to fight the prodigies of this era? That's right." The old man laughed, as if he was looking at a dead man. He said mildly, "Then I wish you a safe journey. Fang Ping has just patrolled Mount Imperial Sea. If you want to find him, you can go to the outer domain and kill some humans." Extermination laughed. "I have heard of Fang Renwang's reputation. Although Fang Renwang is my target, I want to fight the human's longevity sword first. I'm just afraid. I'll be disappointed again if I'm not strong enough." The old man smiled and didn't say anything else. He said lightly, "Then you can go on your own." As he said that, he ignored him and landed directly. Longevity's sword. Was he trying to accumulate momentum slowly? That depended on whether Fang Ping agreed to it or not. The 8 monsters were very strong. Among them, 3 were Emperor level and 5 were top-tier true gods. The difference between Emperor level and saints was not as big as imagined. 8 monsters were probably enough to fight top-tier saints. This person was also very strong. This group of people had combat strength comparable to 2 saints. But so what? He hoped this fellow could return alive. He should pray for him. The saints under Emperor Donghuang's faction were now watching a show. The Sky's Ceiling Bloodline. That fellow from back then? The old man seemed to remember something. He was a little fearful and contemptuous. Very strong. Indeed, very strong. Even in that era when the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors were still around, that fellow was terrifyingly strong. He was known as the leader of the Extreme Path bloodline. It was the Extreme Path bloodline, not the Extermination bloodline. However, some people were worthy of respect. Some people were not. Jean had been apprenticed to many people. So was that person. He was very similar to Jean. However, Jean had his own path and his own integrity. That person was lacking a little. Now, he had formed his own bloodline. Was he going to complete something that had never been done in ancient times? This bloodline is strong enough. How will Fang Ping deal with it? The old man muttered to himself. Perhaps it would be beyond his expectations. Chapter 1172. In May, the world was at peace. The battles at the summit were almost impossible to see. On the human side, their battle prowess was also increasing day by day. Su Yunfei of the Su clan, the son of the Sword King's first wife, was already showing signs of proving his Tao. He had begun his seclusion and was only 1 step away from officially entering the impasse realm. Among the 6 great holy lands, an old monk from the other 5 great holy lands and the ancient Buddha holy land also walked out of seclusion. On the day he entered the catacombs, the old monk sent someone to pass a message to Fang Ping. After he had achieved enlightenment, he would come to the country to meet the king. It was obvious that the old monk was very confident that he would succeed this time. The nation of gods, the descendant of the sun god, the grandfather of Rosés, whom Fong Ping had interacted with before, had also come out of his closed-door training and entered the catacombs. Fong Ping was not too concerned that he did not send a message to Sino Nation. Obviously, this descendant of the sun god had the hope of proving his Tao. Of the leaders of the 6 holy lands, apart from the one from suppressing Star City, the 5 holy lands that had fused with the Tao last time were all the strongest experts. And now, the descendants or disciples of these strongest experts all had the hope of proving their Tao. This was motivation. Their ancestors had fallen, and these people were all holding their breaths. When Fong Ping returned that day, saying that he would reinforce the Sky Cemetery half a year later, all parties responded that there would definitely be exterminated beasts within half a year. Now, many people in China had succeeded in proving their Tao. Tianmu had even entered the fake sky grave and started to participate in the battle. Everyone was getting anxious. The Tao-proving seeds walked out from their cultivation grounds, ready to fight their way to the top. Very few humans would stay in seclusion until they broke through. At the checkpoint, the catacombs was their best option. Just when everyone was silent, Fong Ping had just returned to closed-door training when he was called back by Wu Quishan. Shanghai, Heavenly Island. Now, the Heavenly Island was truly a holy land for cultivation. The skywood had taken root on Sky Island. After the cat tree returned, it had also taken root on Sky Island. In addition, dozens of rank 9 monster plants had taken root on Sky Island. Sky Island had become a sacred place for cultivation. The energy from all directions began to converge towards Heaven Island. Not only that, Fong Ping had also buried a large number of cultivationating energy stones under Sky Island. Upon entering the Heavenly Island, one could even touch the energy with their hands. It had already materialized. Only those who had made great contributions were allowed to enter. On Heavenly Island, Fong Ping had just broken through the air when he saw a familiar figure. Yunxi, Fong Ping shouted. Chun Yunxi, who was in a hurry, turned her head and glanced at him. She smiled. "You're back." As soon as Fong Ping finished speaking, Chun Yunxi said hurriedly, "Then I'll leave first. There's an emergency in the catacombs." After saying that, Chun Yunxi ran away in a hurry. Fong Ping was stunned. What was going on? Am I being abandoned? Just as Zhang Xian was deep in thought, another person appeared. Seeing Fong Ping, Fu Changding raised his spear and greeted him hurriedly. "You're back? You're busy. I'll leave first." Fong Ping was stunned again. This was not the end. People passed by him one after another. In the end, all of them were like fugitives. They ran very fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Fong Ping was stunned. "I'm back. I rarely come back now, but when you see me, this is how you treat me? I, a sovereign personage, don't have any backing? In the catacombs, in the 3 realms, whoever sees me has to be respectful. You guys just ignore me like this?" Fong Ping was still in a daze. On the other side, Lu Fengru hurried past. This time, she did not even greet him. Fong Ping was stunned. Tang Feng, who was following behind her, greeted her, but quickly said, "You've offended old Lu." Tang Feng teased, "Do you know what the outside world is saying now? Master of King Human, Li Changsheng, longevity sword. Lu Fengru. Who's Lu Fengru? Some people even say that Li Changsheng is a martial king. Anyway, it has nothing to do with her. Old Lu provoked him at Mount Royal Sea last time, claiming to be Li Changsheng's teacher. He was mocked for a long time." Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. "Can you blame me? This teacher of mine. Cough. It's true that he has no sense of presence. But you can't blame me either." He seemed to have heard about what happened to Lu Fengru last time. She provoked the other party to fight her one-on-one, saying that she was Fong Ping's teacher. In the end, The catacombs rank. 8 said casually, whether it was on purpose or he really did not know, isn't Fong Ping's teacher the longevity sword? With that one sentence, Lu Fengru let the other parties see what it meant to be a crazy woman. In the end, he was beaten to death by Lu Fengru, one punch after another. Fong Ping said innocently, "This has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you." Didn't she despise herself for being weak? A few days ago, she said that if she's not desperate, she'll pretend that she doesn't know you. Doesn't that mean that she doesn't know you? Fong Ping was speechless. Then he said amusedly, "Then, how do you still know me?" Tang Fong sneered. "Why wouldn't I know you? As for those 2 students of mine, I don't know them now either." He was referring to Zhao Lei and Yang Xiaoman. Both of them were rank 7 martial artists now. However, Fong Ping had improved the strength of MCMAU powerhouses several times. After he proved his Dao, both of them had benefited too. This time, they had improved a lot. A few days ago, when the master and disciple were sparring, the 2 of them had joined forces and accidentally hit Tang Feng's nose crooked. Now, Tang Feng told everyone he met that his students had deceived their masters and destroyed their ancestors. In reality, he was secretly happy. He was just short of telling others that he had a whole bunch of high ranks. His daughter, Tang Wen, had also advanced to rank 7. She was still young. If it were not for the Zhang siblings who were faster, Tang Feng could boast that his daughter was better than Fong Ping. Looking at Tang Feng's joyful expression, Fong Ping could not help but laugh again. He glanced at Tang Feng and laughed. "Instructor Tang has improved quite fast too. Your golden body has actually reached rank 8 third refinement. It's just SOO." Tang Feng was not too busy. He chuckled and said, "Also Chun Yinshi and Ji Yao have been dragging it out recently. Both of them have fought more than 20 battles in the Mount Royal Sea region. They just came back to recuperate. They agreed to fight again in the afternoon. That's why they're rushing over." "Huh." Fong Ping was stunned. "She's not Ji Yao's match, right? Ji Yao is already rank 9. Yunxi is only rank 8 third refinement. The gap is not small. Together with your instructor, the 2 of them fighting against her is about the same." Tang Feng laughed. "There are not many female martial artists to begin with. Both sides have their wins and losses. We rarely intervene in their battles now. The catacombs are also training their troops. Fong Ping, the battles now are much more ruthless than before. I'm talking about the catacombs." At this point, Tang Feng still said solemnly, "The situation in the catacombs is not the same as before. We were afraid of death in the past. It's not that we're not afraid of death now, but with the pressure from the higher-ups, plus some powerhouses who are good at fighting from other areas have entered the restricted area, the battles now are fought to the death. I wanted to say something about this. If this goes on, I'm afraid there will be younger generations in the catacombs who will achieve Tao. Some of the descendants of the true king, without the protection of the true king now, are fighting with their lives on the line. That descendant of King Hua, Hua Yu, has also entered rank 9. Facing him, we don't know if we should kill him or what. Our hands and feet are tied when we're fighting," Fong Ping said in a low voice. "There's no friendship to speak of in a war. Kill when you need to. Don't think too much." Tang Feng nodded and said, "There's also Li Zhu's son, Li Yi, who has also advanced to rank 9. He has also begun to participate in some border battles. The former left marshal of the Heavenly Plant's royal court, Hua Qidao, has advanced to rank 9 in a short period of time. I'm afraid there's hope for him to achieve Dao." "Hua Qidao." Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. He said quickly, "Hua Qidao is going to achieve Dao." Tang Feng said in a low voice, "That's right. This has been reported to Vice-Chancellor Wu. Vice-Chancellor said that she will arrange for a few people to ambush him. Maybe the Su family's second patriarch will come out and kill Hua Qidao to achieve Dao. I'm afraid Hua Qidao will not avoid the battle. If he defeats old patriarch Su, maybe there's hope for him to achieve Dao. The Su family's second patriarch, Su Yunfei, was already powerful. His previous ranking was much higher than Wu Quishan's. Now, he was only one step away. He was missing a powerhouse among the same rank. Hua Qidao was in the limelight now. Wu Quishan arranged for Su Yunfei to ambush him. Between the two of them, one might emerge as a paragon. As for the other, the probability of death was very high. Fang Ping instantly lost the mood to continue the conversation. He smiled and nodded slightly. The next moment, he said goodbye to Tang Feng and quickly headed for the Heaven Ministry's conference room. In the big conference room, only 3 people were present: Wu Quishan, Old Man Li, and Li Daong. Fang Ping entered. Without waiting for them to speak, he said in a low voice, "Arrange for Su Yunfei to ambush and kill Hua Qidao." Wu Quishan glanced at him. After a while, he said, "Yes, the Su family's second patriarch killed Hua Qidao. The probability of him achieving Dao is very high." Fang Ping frowned and said in a low voice, "You know?" "I know," Wu Quishan said in a low voice, "but what can we do? Let Hua Qidao continue to grow? Impossible. It was one thing for Hua Qidao to cause trouble in the depths of the restricted area, but now he is participating in the battle at Imperial Sea Hill. Yesterday, Hua Qidao fought with Grandmaster Fang Yu at Imperial Sea Hill. Fang Yu was no match for him. Hua Qidao had cut off both his arms and destroyed his golden body. If not for Captain Bei Gongyan's timely rescue, Grandmaster Fang would have been killed at Imperial Sea Hill. Fang Ping was a veteran grandmaster of the human race. He had guarded the Shishan catacombs for decades. During the battle at the Imperial battlefield, he almost followed in Old Man Fan's footsteps. Old Man Fan died in battle at the Imperial battlefield. I did not get to see the glory of the human race. It is something I have always regretted. It is hard to accept. Now, these high grandmasters guarding the catacombs had finally seen a glimmer of hope. Fang Ping has guarded the catacombs for decades. He faced more than 10 rank, 9 powerhouses alone. Which one of them is not worthy of respect? He almost died. If Hua Qidao wants to kill Fang Yu, then I will let Senior Su Yunfei ambush and kill him. Li Daong's expression was complicated. He said nothing. Old Man Li was also unusually indecisive. He did not say a word. Fang Ping said in a low voice, "You know his situation. If he fights with Senior Su, he will most likely be killed by Senior Su. If Senior Su achieves Dao, he will die." Fang Ping exhaled. "If you don't know, then forget it. Now that you know, so what if you know?" Wu Quishan said calmly, "Leaving him to grow is not what humans should do. The catacomb's intention is to let him advance in battle. He knows that killing Fang Yu will lead to revenge from the humans, but he still did it. This means that this is the catacomb's will. The catacombs clearly know that the humans have arranged for someone to ambush and kill him. They want to raise Gu. If he survives, then he will reach the next pinnacle. If he dies, then so be it. At this time, there are no human powerhouses to join the battle. Fang Ping, do you want to send others to their deaths?" Wu Quishan said coldly, "Ambushing and killing Hua Qidao requires at least a rank 9 powerhouse. Who do you want to send to their deaths?" Fang Ping gritted his teeth. After a while, he said, "Bring him back." "No," Wu Quishan said in a low voice. "Even if he dies in battle, you can't do it now. This is arranged by Minister Zhang. If you bring him back, honestly, other than Minister Zhang, do you know his situation? If he has not betrayed us, if he succeeds, and achieves the pinnacle, infiltrating the enemy's inner circle, that will be our greatest success. Fang Ping said impatiently. Do I need it? So what if he infiltrates the inner circle? At most, he knows some secrets and betrays us at the last minute. If he can ambush and kill an emperor level, that's good enough. Do I lack the opportunity to kill an emperor level? Wu Quishan said calmly, killing an emperor level. When he infiltrated, Minister Zhang's goal was probably just to target some pinnacles. If he can kill an emperor level, that will be the greatest success. Moreover, there are some things that we really need him to do. Then what's the point of killing him now? He might not die. Then if old Su dies, will you take responsibility? Wu Quishan frowned. Then what do you think we should do? If they let it go, there would be human rank 9 powerhouses dying in Hua Qidao's hands soon. If they did not let it go, then they would have to fight to the death. Fang Ping thought about it. After a while, he humphed. Hasn't Zhang Peng advanced to rank 9? You're crazy. Wu Quishan scolded impatiently. Old Manly could not help but scold. Then why don't you just bring him back? Zhang Peng has just advanced. If he can fight Hua Qidao, do you believe it? If Hua Qidao hardens his heart and kills him in the name of justice, old Zhang will kill you when he comes back. How dare this guy think? Send his son over. If Zhang Peng really died in Hua Qidao's hands, old Zhang would definitely not let Fang Ping go when he comes back. Fang Ping pondered for a moment. After thinking for a while, he said, That's true. If old Zhang finds out, he might really cause trouble for me. Forget it. I'll think of a way myself. If it really doesn't work, I'll pretend to be a rank 9 powerhouse and fight him. That's a good idea. Wu Quishan nodded. Fang Ping could pretend to be a rank 9 powerhouse and fight Hua Qidao. No one would know how strong Fang Ping was if he played dead. Even if he did not play dead, it would not be difficult to defeat Hua Qidao and spare his life. Wu Quishan did not continue this topic. He said quickly, I didn't ask you to come today to talk about him. There's movement over at the Forbidden Sea. What movement? Wu Quishan gestured for him to sit down. He said, Someone sent a letter of challenge to the humans. He wants to challenge old Li. Wu Quishan glanced at Li Changsheng and said quickly, the opponent's strength is not weak. He's an emperor-level powerhouse. He wants to fight alone. Fang Ping scolded. F***ck off. Who is it? I'll go and kill him. An emperor-level dares to show off. He even wants to fight alone. How many days has it been since old Li broke through? Are they giving him face? Wu Quishan said softly. The other party naturally has some ability to say that. This time, there's news that the other party has quite a lot of people. There are many emperor-level auras. Although they didn't express their attitude, the meaning is clear. If they don't fight alone, the humans will have one more enemy. Not only that, the other party claims to be from the sky-sealing bloodline. He's just the heir of this generation. Behind him, there's at least a saint or even a heavenly king. Wu Quishan was also a little sullen. He said helplessly, if we don't fight, we might have one more heavenly king enemy. Now, the humans are no match for a heavenly king unless that God-forging envoy you mentioned comes out. The other party is plotting openly. We have to fight, even if we don't want to. Fang Ping's expression was cold. When has the human race ever been threatened? Who does he think he is? So what if he's a heavenly king? I've seen many heavenly kings. Even if I can't win, I still dare to fight. What **T sky-sealing bloodline. I even dared to kill the descendants of the 9 emperors. Not to mention this **T I've never heard of. The Forbidden Sea, right? I'll find a time tonight, hide my aura, and go over to ambush and kill him. Heavenly King, would a heavenly king dare to come out now? I'll call a few people and surround and kill him. Fong Ping began to plan. Heavenly King. He did not know what level of Heavenly King he was. 5 saints had hope of defeating a Heavenly King with a broken 6. If they wanted to kill him, they might need a little more. He, Jiang Hao, Heavenly Wood, Yu Wei, Feng Yun, and Lin Hai, Cosmic Dragon, and Kai Dai would try. There should be hope for 8 saint powerhouses to kill a Heavenly King with a broken 6. Don't be impulsive. Wu Quishan said helplessly, "Are you ignoring the 9 saints of the catacombs? At this stage, if there's a conflict with the other party, if the catacombs suddenly attack, have you considered the consequences?" Fong Ping said coldly, "I've considered it. However, we can't make an exception. This is just like the catacombs back then. They used 3 to 5 times their powerhouses to fight our human powerhouses. You have to fight, whether you want or not. If you compromise today, Old Man Li will not be a match and will be killed on the spot. Tomorrow, someone will dare to fight you alone. You will not be a match and will be killed again. It will be like cutting flesh with a blunt knife. I've finally made the human race stand up, but they'll have to kneel again immediately. There's only one way to deal with this kind of person. Kill. No matter how big the loss, we must kill him. At this time, we can only fight fiercely, not compromise, not admit defeat, and not bow our heads. Even if we die in battle, we must fight him. I know. Wu Quishan sighed. If it's that simple, then I won't look for you. Old Li won't have the idea to keep the appointment. Wu Quishan thought for a while and said the Fengtian clan might be a little complicated. Extreme Path Divine Island's Lin, High Saint, rarely takes the initiative to contact us. Today, he sent someone to send a message. This is a little troublesome. Lin High Saint. That's right. Wu Quishan exhaled softly. It's Lin High Saint. He said that the Fengtian clan and the Extreme Path Divine Island have a close relationship. It's very complicated. I'm afraid he won't fight side by side with the human race. If the human race really wants to, they don't have to look for him. Also, let me tell you, it's best to give up the idea of ambushing and killing the Fengtian clan's successor. If that person is still around, ambushing and killing him might be the human race's own destruction. Fong Ping's expression was gloomy. Lin Hai would not deliberately scare him. He had said before that he would only help the human race once. That time, he had also spared no effort to participate in the battle. The successor of the Extreme Path Divine Island would not be timid. He also knew the situation on Fong Ping's side. He knew that Fong Ping might be able to rope in many saints, but he still said this. Even the God Creation Envoy was ignored. What was this? What was going on with the Fengtian clan that suddenly appeared? Many emperor ranks had suddenly appeared. Emperor ranks and saints. There was not much difference between top-level emperor ranks and saints. It was extremely difficult for a saint to kill an emperor rank. That day, Moon Spirit was about to advance to Heavenly King. She was even carrying a divine weapon. She killed the emperor rank Nameless Emperor by surprise. It took her a lot of effort to kill him. The other party had easily sent out many emperor rank powerhouses. This power was not weak. Beside him, Old Man Li said, "Fong Ping, let me keep the appointment and fight him. Although I'm not an emperor rank, it's not that easy for an emperor rank to kill me." Fong Ping said impatiently, "What do you know? If they can't kill you, the other party will surround and kill you. After the siege, say that they are powerful. If you are killed, so be it. But if you kill the other party, Old Antique might come out and say that you dare to kill my descendant. He will kill you. I know these old turtles' personalities too well. It's fine to kill others, but not their people. After beating up the little ones, the old ones will arrive immediately. These people are not even comparable to the catacombs' martial artists. Although the catacombs are overbearing, at least they still follow some rules. These people are used to being the only one. So in the end, either you die and the humans don't pursue it, or the old antique must come out. It's because I know their personalities that I won't compromise. One-on-one battle, one-on-one, what nonsense. Fang Ping calculated for a while and said, I'll go and ask about the situation. If he's too powerful, I'll go and bluff him for a while and see if I can bluff him. If he's weak, if he only has the strength of broken six, I'll think of a way to kill him. I'll see what happens. If his hostility is really deep, I'll think of another way. Having said that, Fang Ping knocked on the table. Let's see if we can divert the trouble. This newly emerged Fengtian clan is very overbearing. If they dare to say such things, they're either confident or insolent. I have experience in dealing with this kind of people. Fang Ping still had a way of dealing with these fellows who had strong backings. Having said that, Fang Ping asked, Is there anything else? He added, Wait for my news. Don't act on your own. I'm warning you, you must inform me of your actions at the summit. If you act on your own and die, I'll expel you and put you on the list of human traitors. Wu Quishan, an old man, Li smiled helplessly and did not say much. Li Daong continued, There's something else. Nowadays, there aren't as many battles in the southern region as before. Minister Wu and I intend to let some people settle in the other 3 major territories and help the humans in other regions to fight. Sure. Fang Ping nodded. This time, he patrolled the 4 major territories. Indeed, the southern region had the fewest battles. They were afraid of being killed. The powerhouses in the southern region had almost all been killed by Fang Ping. The remaining people had also escaped to the restricted zone. The other 3 major territories did not lose much. Right now, they still had the absolute advantage. The humans could only defend. They rarely attacked and could easily be surrounded and killed. Seeing him nod, Wu Quishan heaved a sigh of relief. Now you have the magnanimity of a human king. I thought you would refuse. Fang Ping was speechless. How could I? On the day the 6 sacred lands leaders merged, I knew that if there were any internal strife among the humans would really lose. Right now, we can kill until everyone is terrified because we're working together. Otherwise, we would have been defeated long ago. Wu Quishan laughed. Soon, he became serious again. This time, be careful. Don't act rashly. Minister Zhang and the rest haven't returned yet. If we really provoke the Heavenly King at this time, we'll be in big trouble. Fang Ping nodded. He knew about this too. He did not say anything else. Soon, Fang Ping tore the void and left the place. As soon as he left, Old Manly said in a low voice, It's better to be prepared. I'm going into closed-door cultivation these 2 days. The other party is coming aggressively. If he dares to ask me to fight alone, he must be confident. Wu Quishan nodded and sighed. Fang Ping's personality is very firm. This is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. He's impulsive. Humans don't have to compromise, but sometimes we have no choice. At this stage, if we really provoke the Heavenly King and join forces with the catacombs, how many saints do you think will help us? Try your best to preserve your life. You and I are older than him. Sometimes we have to think more. He can be strong to the end. We can't. The human king can't be defeated. We can. You understand? Old Manly nodded and said lightly, If I really can't refuse, then I'll fight alone. I'll find a place with no one. Fight him. If I die in battle, say that I acted on my own. Don't be too anxious. Wait until Fang Ping has news. I don't know if that God-forging envoy can make a move this time. I know. As the two of them talked, Li Daong sighed. Just as he finished sighing, Wu Quishan suddenly slapped him, causing him to stagger. Li Daong was stunned. Wu Quishan scolded, "What are you sighing for? Get lost. Old Li is a rank 6, you're a rank 9. He's an absolute rank 9. You're a rank 9. You're a rank 9. Fong Ping hasn't even practiced martial arts yet. The veteran rank 9 is already considered a direct disciple of Commander Li. Minister Zhang's grandson is already a rank 9. You're not even as good as his grandson. No, you're not even as good as the War King's many generations of grandchildren. Jiang Hao is already a rank 9. I heard that Jiang Chao, that guy who's just eating and waiting to die, has already reached rank 8 third refinement. What about you? And you're still the military department's acting minister. Wake up. We're discussing something important. You, a rank 9 for many years, is still sighing. You're sulking just by looking at it. Li Daong almost died of anger. Can you blame me for this? You guys are too perverted. I haven't been a rank 9 for many years, right? 10 years, that's already very powerful, okay? You have to compare me with perverts. You still F** king hit me. Am I shameless? Li Daong looked around. Fortunately, no one saw it. Otherwise, he would fight it out with Wu Quishan today. When I was a rank 9, you were only a rank 7. Forget it. Let's not talk about it. It hurts. Li Daong was also helpless. He was Li Zhen's direct disciple. Old Zhang's half-student, Kong Lingyuan, had advanced to Paragon. Old Zhang's grandson had advanced to rank 9. His son. This time, there was also hope to advance to Paragon. In comparison, Li Zhen's line seemed to have no successor. Li Zhen's grandson, Li Yiming, on the other hand, had made rapid progress in the past 2 years. However, he still had not advanced to rank 9. Li Daong was helpless. He felt wronged. You have to compare me with a bunch of perverts. What can I do? Wu Quishan vented his anger on him. His mood was much better. Only then did he say, "Why are you still standing there? Huachi Dao, you go first. You won't be killed so easily. Try not to fight them head-on. Hold on for now. We'll talk about it when Fong Ping has time." Li Daong said helplessly, "I am also the military department's top leader." Wu Quishan glanced at him and ignored him directly. "If you haven't reached Paragon, then hurry up and scram. Stop talking nonsense." Li Daong was even more helpless. MCMAU was in power now. They were very arrogant now. Commander Li was not doing well. You've achieved Heavenly King. We should also bask in your glory. At the same time, Fong Ping once again entered the small world of Suppressing Stars City. The God Creation Envoy was a little impatient. This kid knew about this place. He would come every 2 or 3 days. How annoying. Did he really think of himself as a zoo, coming to visit every day? Chapter 1173. What are you doing here again? The God Creation Envoy's expression was not good. Recently, Fong Ping had come a few times, and he did not even have time to read. Fong Ping was all smiles. He did not say a word. He took out a table and a bench, as well as a jar of good wine. Seeing this scene, the corner of the God Creation Envoy's mouth twitched. He had some understanding of Fong Ping. Not a good person. Now that he had come up to offer benefits, was he trying to do something bad? "Kid, leave now, hurry up." Fong Ping chuckled. "Senior, it's too lonely to be here alone. Now that Heavenly King Suppression isn't here, I have the responsibility to take care of you. This is just a small token of my appreciation. I'll accompany you for a drink. Senior, why do you have to keep me at a distance?" The God creation envoy's expression was unfriendly. He did not care about him anymore and started to drink. Fong Ping smiled and sat down opposite him. He smiled and said, "Senior, I have a question." The God creation envoy's face turned pitch black. "I knew it. I'm just asking a few questions." "Senior, you've gotten quite a bit of meat, haven't you?" Fong Ping grinned. "Senior, did the wine taste good?" The God-forging envoy was tired and said indifferently, "If you have any questions, ask. Don't come again." "Then I won't stand on ceremony." Fong Ping smiled. "Senior, do you know about the Fengtian clan?" "What the hell?" "The heaven-sealing bloodline." Fong Ping repeated his words. The God creation envoy frowned slightly, thought for a moment, and said, "Which heaven-sealing bloodline?" "Wait." As he spoke, the God creation envoy seemed to have thought of something. After a long while, he said, "The one with the strongest spiritual force? The guy who self-destructed his inheritance?" Fong Ping raised his eyebrows. "I'm not too sure about this, but Saint Lin Hai said that it's related to the polar path." "That's probably him." The God-forging envoy looked at Fong Ping and frowned. "Did you offend him?" "Maybe." "What do you mean by maybe?" Fong Ping chuckled. "I haven't offended him yet, but I think I might be able to in a few days. For example, if we kill his successor, Senior, don't you think we'll be offending him?" The God creation envoy was speechless, and his tone became a little more solemn as he said, "That guy, try your best not to offend him. How should I put it? I don't like this guy, but that doesn't stop him from being strong." This time, Fong Ping really took it seriously. The God creation envoy's tone was very arrogant. No one liked it. But now, he actually said that the other party was strong. Fong Ping's expression changed. He said in a low voice, "Senior, can you tell me more about this lineage? Otherwise, I might really have to clash with the other party." The God-crafting envoy also knew Fong Ping's personality. He picked up the wine jar, took a sip, and said slowly, "In the ancient times, some people stood out and became the big winners in the Battle of the Great Tao, but some people were a step too late. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors were the big winners. Of course, the war would come later, and they would rise later. At that time, there were actually a few people who were in a similar situation as John, such as the Divine Weapon Master, the Palm Seal User, before the rise of the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. These people were also the proud sons of heaven." When the God creation envoy talked about these people, he also sighed and quickly said, "Similarly, there was a group of people in that era who were also very outstanding. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors of ancient times all had single names. You know that. And this person calls himself the Celestial Emperor." Fong Ping's expression changed again. Celestial Emperor. Many emperor-level powerhouses called themselves Celestial Emperors, but their titles were usually not a single title, or rather, they were almost never a single title. Only the 4 emperors were. Of course, the Heavenly Dog was different. This guy was special. Celestial Emperor. Fong Ping was really a little surprised, but the God creation envoy continued. "Of course, it's just that he calls himself. The outside world generally calls him Celestial Emperor." "Huh?" Fong Ping said in surprise. "Celestial Emperor? He was a Celestial Emperor in ancient times?" "Of course." The God creation envoy said, lightly, "When the 8 kings were conferred, King Qian was actually arranged for him. But this guy was unwilling. He felt that he was not comparable to the 8 kings, so he asked the heavenly court to confer him the title of Divine Weapon Master. In the end, of course, no one was willing. The Divine Weapon Master back then was also a powerhouse. How could he give up his position to him? This guy saw that there was no way to seize the position of Divine Weapon Master, so he did not enter the heavenly court, and he was free and unfettered." As he said that, he continued, "His background is a little complicated. I've said it before, It's a little similar to Jean. He's actually also a figure in the early martial arts era, but later he learned from the four emperors and wanted to walk the path of the four emperors. The four emperors and he were actually considered figures of the same era, and Jean might not be as old as him. However, in the cultivation world back then, the atmosphere was not bad. He was also a powerhouse and volunteered to join the sect. When he came to ask for advice, the four emperors did not reject him. This person is extremely powerful, and the other three emperors do not teach much. Mia is good at teaching, so he mainly learned mentality from Mia. His strongest is the Seal Dao. Fang Ping listened carefully and hurriedly said, "Seal? That's right." The God Creation Envoy said in a low voice, "Seal the origin Great Dao." He had experienced the Great War back then and knew the power of the origin Great Dao. He also knew that without the origin Great Dao, the 9 emperors and 4 emperors might not be a match for those beginner powerhouses. Therefore, he wanted to open up another path and focus on the Seal Dao. When fighting the Seal Powerhouse's Dao, as he said that, he added, "Don't think that he only has strong mentality. This person learned from the 4 emperors, so naturally he has also learned the path of the Batian emperor's flesh. His flesh is also extremely strong. Once he seals his opponent, his own origin is still there, and the gap is terrifying. Although I don't think much of him, I have to say that among the 8 kings back then, if they fought with him, I'm afraid none of them could defeat him." Fang Ping was shocked. So strong? Back then, he had probably broken through 7. What about now? Why didn't he enter the fake sky tomb? The God Creation Envoy said lightly, "Didn't I not enter either? What's so strange about that? You set up a trap, and others have to enter it." This person's mentality is so strong that he can even predict the future. His sense of danger and opportunity is also quite strong. I'm afraid he didn't sense the big opportunity that day, so it's not strange that he didn't enter. At this point, the God Creation Envoy continued, he can be considered the chief of the extreme Tao lineage. Of course, the 4 emperors treated him back then. How should I put it? It was more of a peer exchange, and they didn't claim that he was their disciple. Fang Ping exhaled. He had poked a hornet's nest. What a big problem. The 4 emperors of the extreme Tao were actually communicating with their peers. This person's strength was somewhat beyond Fang Ping's expectations. Fang Ping could not help but ask, then why did he ask his disciples to come out of the mountain now? Fang Ping gritted his teeth and said, he asked his disciples to come out of the mountain to challenge the longevity sword. A powerhouse with the strength of an emperor was shameless enough to challenge the longevity sword who had just broken through not long ago. Is this lineage so shameless? Shame? The God Creation Envoy sneered. What shame does he want? If he wanted shame, he wouldn't have admitted that he was the disciple of the 4 emperors back then. Don't you think about it? The powerhouses of that era, even if they were not as good as the 4 emperors, would still come to ask for advice. They would never admit that they were disciples. This old man has also asked the 9 emperors and 4 emperors for guidance, but I will not admit that I am the disciple of the 9 emperors and 4 emperors. This person is very shameless. Admitting himself as a disciple is just adding gold to his face. If he encounters trouble, he can ask the 4 emperors for help. He is very powerful. Back then, there were not many heavenly kings who could suppress him. The rest were like the 9 emperors. He knew better than anyone that if he provoked these people, he would be powerless to resist. He was just pulling the skin of the 4 emperors. Do you think this old man will look up to such a person? Fang Ping frowned and said, he actually didn't die. He didn't die. It's not too strange. The God Creation Envoy shook his head and said, this guy is very slippery. Back then, when Zhang Xian fell, he probably ran away. It's not surprising that he didn't die. After saying that, he asked, "His disciples came out of the mountain?" "Yes." Fang Ping explained the matter briefly. The God creation envoy sneered and said, "This again." Back then, this guy liked to do this. He believed in destiny. He would cheat, steal, and do everything. He worshipped the four emperors because he wanted to get some of the four emperors' glory. Now, I'm afraid he has his eyes on you. He probably has his eyes on all the heroes of this generation and has been paying attention to them. This guy has a big heart. Now that you mention it, I remember previously Li Xuanxia said that something was not right. It seemed that there was someone hiding in the dark. It's probably this guy. During the chaotic period, the chaotic heavenly king was attacked and killed. I'm afraid it was also done by him. If it wasn't done by him, then it was done by his disciples. Later on, the chaotic heavenly king rose and killed many strong enemies. I'm afraid he also suffered heavy losses. In the battle that destroyed the Earth Emperor Divine Dynasty, there were also some powerhouses who participated, and there might not be many of his disciples. In the battle between the North and the South, there was also a mastermind in the dark. Li Xuanxia always said that it was King Kuan and Hong Yu who did it. I don't think so. If this guy is alive, can he not interfere? Fang Ping said with a heavy expression, "Senior, what is his strength now?" "I'm not sure about that." The God crafting envoy thought for a moment and said after a moment, "Maybe break 7, maybe break 8. The probability of breaking 8 is not too high, because the requirements for breaking 8 are very high. In fact, breaking 8 is often done on one's own. This guy, it's hard to say. But since he survived until now, even if it's breaking 7, he's still a top-notch powerhouse among breaking 7. Kid, you're really in big trouble. Not only you, but also Zhang Tao and some of the geniuses of this era. They're all in big trouble." Fang Ping's expression became uglier and uglier. At the very least, he was a powerhouse who had broken 7. This was too strong. "Then why didn't he attack us now?" The heavenly king sneered and said, "Don't worry, he won't attack now. Let's put it this way. His disciples came out of the mountain to test the waters first. Kill you, you are not geniuses, you are trash. It doesn't matter if he can't kill you. He might not make a move. The disciples who are making a move now are probably not the strongest. He will send people to challenge you one after another, kill you, and gather his so-called luck. He wants to gather all his luck on one person. When the other party is strong enough, he will kill the other party. He feels that he can successfully prove his Tao this way. That disciple of his killed the longevity sword, and then killed you. I'm afraid he will die in his hands in the end. This person is like this. If your strength is too weak, he will not make a move personally. According to your understanding, it's like raising a goo worm. When the strongest goo worm is raised, he will personally kill the strongest one. You understand?" Fang Ping's brows suddenly relaxed, and he said with a smile, "Senior, what you mean is that even if I make a move now and kill his disciples, he might not make a move, right?" "That's right," the God-crafting envoy said with a smile. "However, you have to be careful. This guy's disciples who have come out of the mountain now all have the strength of an emperor rank. I'm afraid there are even stronger ones behind. You have to understand, he is an old man from the beginning of martial arts. Some of his disciples, if they are not dead, they are actually not much different from the disciples of the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. Moreover, the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors have disappeared for many years, but he did not. In that case, it is not surprising that he has a saint-rank powerhouse under him. Even a heavenly king?" Fang Ping frowned and said, "Heavenly king? Is it that exaggerated?" "It's not too exaggerated. In recent years, there have been many people who have proven their Tao as heavenly kings. Moon spirit, chaotic heavenly king, unquestionable sword, celestial pole. These people have all proven their Tao as heavenly kings in the past 8,000 years. The God-crafting envoy thought for a while and shook his head. Some of his disciples. It's hard to say. Maybe there is, if they keep a low profile and don't shine when they break through, they might not be discovered. So, if I kill this guy now, a saint might appear immediately. If a saint dies, a heavenly king might appear. Fang Ping said with a smile, "This seems nothing." The God-crafting envoy sneered. "You overestimate him. Do you really think he will give you food? His disciples can die, but they can't die. They can't be killed by someone above their rank. You have the combat strength of a saint. If you dare to kill his emperor-ranked disciples, a heavenly king will come to kill you tomorrow. If it is not him, it will be his disciples. This is his style. If you only have the ultimate combat strength, he will not show up when you kill the emperor-ranked disciples under his wing. If you kill a saint with your emperor-ranked combat strength, he will not show up. In other words, you can defeat the strong with the weak, but you can't defeat the weak with the strong, domineering, and shameless." Fang Ping sneered. "I'm only at the peak. If you didn't kill a saint, then there's no problem. If you killed a saint, do you think he will care if you're at the peak or not?" Fang Ping's face darkened. "Does that mean I can't make a move? Once I make a move, he might attack me? Maybe." "Senior," Fang Ping suddenly smiled like a flower and looked at the God-crafting envoy. The God-crafting envoy seemed to know what he was going to do and said lazily, "Don't count on me. If I am not trapped, then I am not afraid of that guy. So what if he is strong? But I am a prisoner now. Kid, don't cause trouble for me." Since he dared to let his disciples come, and he also knows some things, he might not be unaware of what happened to me previously. Since that's the case, he might still want to lure me out. Back then, this guy asked me to forge a divine weapon for him, but I ignored him. Now, I'm afraid he is extremely confident. He found me and forced me to do something, which is probably what he wants to see. Fang Ping, don't think about bringing trouble to me. If you bring it to me, if you really bring it, Earth will be destroyed. Once I fight with him, I will not deliberately choose a place. Earth will definitely be destroyed." Fang Ping frowned again and said in a low voice, "This junior did not think that way. This junior was just thinking about a question. Since this person came from the extreme Tao sect, does he not care about the relationship between the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor at all? Don't think about those unrealistic things." The God-crafting envoy sneered and said, "Extreme Tao sect? What kind of extreme Tao sect is he? You told Wang Jinyang and the others to be careful. Right now, they were not strong enough, so he might not take a liking to them. Once they were strong enough, the first one to kill the extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor would probably be him, replace him. Gathering the destiny of the four emperors was probably his biggest goal. What do you think? This person is very ambitious, but I just don't like him. No matter if a martial artist is good or bad, a powerhouse has some aspects that are worthy of admiration. I'm afraid he doesn't. If that's the case, didn't the four emperors know? So what if I know?" The God-crafting envoy said, indifferently, "Don't tell me you want to kill him if you know." Back then, when he was under the four emperors, he also contributed to the four emperors. Such a powerhouse did not betray him. What right do you have to kill him? Just because his character is not good, then what do you think the four emperors are? Break 7 strength. Fang Ping frowned. It might even be a break 8. The Fengtian bloodline that appeared was really strong, so strong that it was beyond Fang Ping's expectations. The God-crafting envoy thought for a while and suddenly said, "Go find unquestionable sword. Fengtian bloodline. Fengtian bloodline. The god-crafting envoy seemed to have thought of something. Unquestionable sword, this guy? I suspect that the person who schemed against him was from the Fengtian bloodline. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows. The god-crafting envoy laughed and said, unquestionable sword? How should I put it? He lacks a lot of things, but that doesn't mean he has no bottom line. When he rose, there were many speculations. Some people said that he directed and acted himself, killed his wife, and deceived the cat. That might not be what he did. He did not think too much about it before, but now that he thought about it, this method was somewhat similar to the Fengtian bloodline's method. Replace, what a good replacement. Not only unquestionable sword. At this moment, the god-crafting envoy said playfully, interesting, I even suspect that Hong Yu is also related to him. Hong Yu replaced the earthly emperor's avatar. Unquestionable sword replaced by Beihai. These two people also have some connections, plus some other things. Maybe they were all sealed. Fang Ping was a little shocked. And Li Zhu. The god-crafting envoy raised his eyebrows and said, Li Zhu should have completely destroyed the Palm Seal envoy. I don't know if Li Zhu is his chess piece or the Palm Seal envoy. If Li Zhu is, then this guy's plan all these years is a little scary. If the weapon master is, then it means that his plan in Li Zhu has failed. Li Zhu destroyed the Palm Seal envoy. That's right. The god-crafting envoy nodded and said, back then, there was a big star that dimmed. It should be the Palm Seal envoy. This guy is not a good guy. The Palm Seal envoy's personality is not much different from Feng. These two guys, colluding together, it is still possible for them to replace the leading role of an era. But obviously, they should have failed. According to my guess, Li Zhu is the winner, not Feng's chess piece. As for unquestionable sword, he can be considered half a loser. At this point, the old man muttered to himself, chuckling, and said, in the end, he is just a goo that someone else raised. He got rid of his previous life. Maybe he also noticed something. Others used him. And he also wanted to follow suit, wanting to replace the position of the king of man in this life. Unquestionable sword is still at a disadvantage. But if you tell him about the Fengtian bloodline, he might understand something. Feng is very cautious, but also very arrogant. Unquestionable sword's combat strength is still not weak. If he knows about this, maybe he will fight that guy to the death. Fang Ping was speechless. I don't really care about this. I'm more concerned about what I should do now. According to Senior, I can't kill that guy's disciple, but his disciple wants to challenge Teacher Li. Am I supposed to watch Teacher Li throw away his life? The god-crafting envoy said casually, then let Li Chongsheng try. If it doesn't work, you can do it yourself and kill the other party. At most, a heavenly king will come. You can get the martial king and the others out. Won't there be no problem? As he said that, he added, or you can enter the fake sky tomb yourself and let him chase after you. Fang Ping smiled and said, that's true, but if Senior says so, then when that time comes, Earth will be handed over to Senior. Senior, how about you help me guard Earth? The god-crafting envoy snorted coldly. Don't even think about it. Senior, when that time comes, I have no other choice. You can't just watch Earth be destroyed, right? That's also good. I can just escape. Senior, cut the crap. The god-crafting envoy said impatiently, solve the trouble you caused yourself. Also, Feng has already appeared. The situation might be even more tense. Brat, you better prepare to open the fake sky tomb. Feng could be considered a typical figure of that era. Once he appeared, others would also move upon hearing the news. Old fellows like me might not be able to sit still anymore. They will all appear. Fang Ping said in a deep voice, are there many powerhouses like Senior? Not really, the god-crafting envoy said, indifferently. However, there were still a few beginner leaders back then. They were extremely powerful. If they did not die in that battle, they should be alive now. These people might have fought with the emperor when they were young. They are all very terrifying. After saying so much, the God-crafting envoy finally reminded him, the bloodline that is sealed is the origin of a person. Your mentality is not as good as his, so there is a high chance that he will seal the origin of the great Tao. Without the amplification of the origin of the great Tao, you might not be able to defeat the emperor under his wing. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows and did not say anything. Seeing this, the God-crafting envoy sneered and said, "Do you think your mentality is very strong? Or do you think he can't seal you? Don't be too confident. I said that the people of this bloodline are very annoying, but I have to admit that they are powerful. His disciples are easier to deal with. Seal, the inheritance is not only about mentality, but also the physical body, vitality, energy. He is very strong. Feng is probably harder to deal with than Hong Kuan. You can imagine, are you a match for him?" Fang Ping nodded slightly and stood up to leave. After thinking for a while, he turned around and asked, "Can the Heavenly King defeat him?" "There should be hope. The Heavenly King is so powerful. Feng is waiting for the right time. What is the Heavenly King waiting for? Go ask him yourself. Has Senior broken 8? Guess." "I don't want to guess, but Senior is very confident. I think maybe it is also broken 8. Fang Ping said self-deprecatingly. "A group of old antiques. They are so powerful, and each of them can really endure it. If it were me, I would have gone on a killing spree." The God-crafting envoy sneered and said, "Killing spree? The target of public criticism. Stupid. Do you think Li Xuanxie and the others had to hold it in? The key was, did they dare to expose their full strength? Today, he had exposed his full strength. Tomorrow, many powerhouses might join forces to ambush and kill him. It was only now that he was about to come out and could not hold it in any longer. In the past, if a heavenly king dared to appear, he would be killed in a few days. The chaos of the chaotic era was strong enough, right? In the end, he still escaped from the heavenly tomb and avoided everything. Otherwise, he might have been killed too. It's not a problem to be outstanding. If you are too outstanding, you will threaten some people. If you don't die, who will die?" Fang Ping did not say anything and left quickly. As soon as he left, the God-crafting envoy sighed and said, "This is a chaotic era, but it is also a good era for you to rise." Otherwise, if it was any other time, did Fang Ping really think that no one could do anything to him? He would have been killed long ago. Chapter 1174. On the Forbidden Sea, annihilation was still waiting for Longevity's swords. Reply. Earth. Fang Ping came to the House of Guardians once again. Like the God Creation envoy, Jiang Hao was not in a good mood when he saw Fang Ping. It was like choking on food or drinking water. It was uncomfortable. When Fang Ping came, he had a hunch that nothing good would come out of it. This time, Fang Ping did not beat around the bush. He went straight to the point and said as soon as he entered, "When you replaced Gong Zhuanzi back then, was it your own plan, or was it secretly led by someone else?" Jiang Hao frowned. "Just say it." Fang Ping said calmly, "How many years has it been? Don't you dare to mention this." "I won't avoid it. I want to snatch old Zhang's position. I want to snatch it myself. What's wrong with that? What lead or supporting role? If you want to fight, fight. I'm just asking, how much do you know?" Jiang Hao stared at him. Fang Ping said impatiently, "You have the strength of a heavenly king after all. Don't you dare to admit this. Just say it. I don't have time to talk nonsense with you." Jiang Hao exhaled and said coldly, "Fang Ping, there are some things I don't have to tell you. Fang Ping humphed. Fine, I don't care. Your wife was schemed to death. You've always been a pitiful pawn. People like you can only torture themselves and vent perversely. Jiang Hao's expression was cold. He stared at Fang Ping for a while. After a long time, he said slowly, "What do you want to ask? What do you want to know?" "Who was the one who ordered me to get close to the cat back then?" Jiang Hao closed his eyes. After a while, he said coldly, "No one ordered me. That was just an accident. Gong Yuzi ordered unquestionable Jian to deliver a letter to Kuokang Mountain, and coincidentally met the cat. You know what the cat likes. Is that an accident?" Jiang Hao's gaze changed. He paused and said in a low voice, "Unquestionable Jian doesn't know what the cat likes. He's just doing what he wants." He also raised a cat monster on Purple Cap Mountain. It's very weak, but very cute. That monster was given to him by his master. Unquestionable Jian has been raising it for many years. The moment he met the cat, he seemed to see the monster he raised. He just played with the cat for a while. "You have a cat monster?" "Unquestionable Jian. Don't give me that. You have a cat, so on Purple Cap Mountain, your master will subtly influence you and tell you that cats like to eat fish, like to fish, and should be pampered. Is that right?" Jiang Hao closed his eyes. After an unknown period of time, he opened his eyes and said, "Yes." "So, Gong Yuzi already knew that you would meet Song Mao one day, right?" "Yes," Jiang Hao said in a deep voice. "In the beginning, unquestionable Jian did not know. Later on, he had some guesses. So, Gong Yuzi is the one who planned this. And there's actually someone behind it, right?" Jiang Hao remained silent. "I guess that it had something to do with Hong Yu. You said that Hong Yu taught you sword principles. Is that true?" Jiang Hao fell silent again. Fang Ping said impatiently, "If you can say it, then say it. If you can't say it, then say it. If you can't say it, then say it. If you keep silent again and again, do I have time to waste with you?" Jiang Hao had an unfriendly expression on his face. "You're the one asking questions, but you're complaining that I'm too slow." "It's true," Jiang Hao said coldly. "When he was young, unquestionable Jian met Hong Yu. Of course, he did not know Hong Yu at that time." "Nonsense. Hong Yu died during the war of the earthly Emperor God dynasty," Jiang Hao said angrily. "At that time, the earthly Emperor God dynasty was not destroyed yet. I'm already talking about when he was young. When unquestionable Jian was born, the earthly Emperor God dynasty was not completely destroyed yet. It was just a little unstable. At that time, the powerhouses of the Blessed Grotto Heavens started planning to build the 108 Blessed Grotto Heavens. Because of this, they did not participate in the war of the earthly Emperor God dynasty. Therefore, the Blessed Grotto Heavens and the earthly Emperor God dynasty actually overlapped for a period of time. You understand? Fang Ping thought about it and smiled. "I understand more or less. When you were young, you met Hong Yu, and he invested in you." Jiang Hao did not correct him. If he said unquestionable Jian, then so be it. At this moment, Jiang Hao said in a low voice, "I don't know." At that time, it was also a coincidence that unquestionable Jian revealed some of his talents among the younger generation and met Hong Yu. Of course, he did not know him at that time. Hong Yu taught him swordsmanship, which later became the sky-punishing sword art. Unquestionable Jian's rise to power has a lot to do with this. Otherwise, Purple Cap Mountain is just an ordinary grotto heavens after all. It's not very powerful. How could it have nurtured unquestionable Jian? Fang Ping nodded and smiled. What happened after that? After that, Jiang Hao frowned. After the earthly Emperor God dynasty was destroyed, I never saw Hong Yu again. Why did Hong Yu teach you cultivation methods? How would I know? Jiang Hao was a little unhappy. Fang Ping smiled. Isn't the person behind your master Hong Yu? No, Jiang Hao said coldly. After that, unquestionable Jian came back from the celestial cemetery and asked his master. Gong Yuzi said he did not know Hong Yu. I believe what he said is true. He really did not know Hong Yu. However, Hong Yu's teaching of swordsmanship might be related to the person behind Gong Yuzi. Fang Ping understood now. If that's the case, I understand now. A guy called Feng is the mastermind behind your master. He's actually also Hong Yu's investor. He wanted Hong Yu to teach you swordsmanship so that your master could create an opportunity for you to get close to Tsang Mao. This guy is the real mastermind. Hong Yu might be his chess piece too. Of course, I can't be sure about this. Anyway, you're definitely his chess piece. And Hong Yu can only be considered an executor. Jiang Hao stared at Fang Ping deeply. After a while, he said, Feng, have you heard of him? Jiang Hao fell into silence again. His gaze kept changing. After about half a minute, he said in a low voice, I've heard of him. An ancient powerhouse, a disciple of the extreme Tao. He called himself Emperor Feng. Some people said that he was one step behind back then. If he did not become the disciple of the four emperors, he might have been able to walk his own path. However, he was not confident enough. Or, rather, he was too confident. He insisted on becoming the disciple of the four emperors. Instead, he lost his own path and became the failure of that era. He wanted to gather the Tao of the four emperors. He never thought that if it were that easy, the four emperors would have proven their path and become the strongest emperor long ago. You actually know, Fang Ping chuckled. That makes things easier. If I say that he's the mastermind behind you, would you believe me? Jiang Hao fell into silence. Fang Ping chuckled. He's out of the mountain. The Sky Sealing clan wants to challenge the longevity sword. The emperor rank is challenging the longevity sword. This clan is not a good thing. Have you ever thought of revenge? Jiang Hao said coldly, You want me to be the blade? Yes. Fang Ping said bluntly, I want you to be the blade. What about it? Do you dare to take revenge? Since you said that you were schemed against, now that I tell you who schemed against you, you don't even have the guts to take revenge? You don't have to provoke me. So what if I provoke you? Fang Ping sneered. Who dares to scheme against me? Even if I can't win, I'll still kill him. If I can't kill him, I'll bite a piece of him. You're a heavenly king powerhouse. Do you feel aggrieved living like a grandson? Jiang Hao bellowed. Do you think you can stand alone? In this 3 realms, who doesn't live under a conspiracy? Who was not a pawn of others? You think you're not? Do you think King Wu isn't? Not only are you a pawn, but you are also a pawn of many people. Did the martial king not scheme against you? Even the heavenly king, subduing king, didn't have won. The Azure Cat, the God creation envoy, including the 4 extreme emperors, do you really think that no one cares about you and no one schemed against you? What right do you have to mock me? Fang Ping's voice was even louder than his. He scolded angrily. I know, but so what? At least they wouldn't dare to let me, Fang Ping, stain my hands with the blood of my family. At least they wouldn't dare to force me to do something I don't want to do. My parents are alive and well, and my sister is living a carefree life in Shanghai. Who would dare to provoke them? Yunxi was captured. I annihilated the Luo Fu line. Old Manly was injured. I annihilated Skygate City. Vice-Chancellor Huang died in battle, and I directly annihilated the Magic City catacombs. Due to Old Zhang's carelessness, MCMU fell into a predicament, causing Huang Jing to die in battle. After I lost my temper, he died in the battle outside, proving to me that he did not do it on purpose. Why? Because Fang Ping was tougher than you, not as cowardly as you. If I was a little more cowardly, maybe this situation wouldn't be like this. Maybe I would have become someone else's executioner long ago, but not now. I'm the one leading everything. Do you think you're worthy to compare yourself to me? Fang Ping sneered, mocking. If I had the combat strength of a heavenly king, even if an emperor came out and I couldn't defeat the other party, I would still bite him and let him taste pain. Even if he died, it would be satisfying. Do you think you're worthy to be mentioned in the same breath as me? I won't hold it in just because of so-called forbearance. So-called what the future will be like, until I explode from holding it in. Jiang Hao also sneered. If that's the case, you can go against the Sky-Ceiling clan yourself. Fang Ping nodded, smiling. Sure. Do you think I don't dare? Wrong. I'm braver than you think. The Sky-Ceiling clan is nothing. Fang Ping sneered. Let's wait and see. In my opinion, the Sky-Ceiling clan is nothing but a rat. If they dare to show their faces, they will die sooner or later. You don't need money to brag. Then let's wait and see. Old tortoise like you, continue to hide. That's pretty good too. At least you can live a little longer. Fang Ping scolded. Jiang Hao's face was livid. Fang Ping did not care what he thought. He did not delay. Before he left, he thought for a while and suddenly said mockingly, "You're not even as good as Fatty Jiang. In this era, Fatty Jiang will be the emperor, not you." You don't believe me? Fang Ping laughed. The next moment, he punched the void. Opposite him, Jiang Chao looked confused, exposing his white belly. Right now, his mouth was dripping with grease. Jiang Hao frowned slightly. Fang Ping looked at the confused fatty and said coldly, "Your grandfather died in battle in the Outland. I'll give you two choices. 1, continue to hide in Star Town. 2, go to the Outland to kill and take revenge personally." Grandfather died in battle. Jiang Chao was confused. After that, he flew into a rage. His vitality exploded with a rumble breaking through the clouds. His eyes were bloodshot. Where did he die? Who killed him? A true god. I can't do anything. Do you dare to take revenge? Mother asterisk cur. Jiang Chao smashed the table in front of him with a punch. He said furiously, "I killed 18 generations of his ancestors. Wait for me to take revenge personally." As soon as he finished speaking, he soared into the sky and disappeared in an instant. Fang Ping sealed the passageway. He glanced at Jiang Hao and sneered. He laughed mockingly and wantonly. "The useless fatty in your eyes, did you see that? Trash. Do you think you're fit to be a neo-martial artist?" Fang Ping sneered again. He tore the space apart and disappeared without a trace in an instant. Jiang Hao stood rooted to the ground, speechless for a long time. An hour later, Star Town. Jiang Chao returned cursing and swearing. D***MN Fang Ping. Bastard. He made me miss a meal that I had prepared for a long time. He ran to the catacombs and was almost kicked to death by the old man. He ran to the old man's funeral and did not kill him because of his golden body. This bastard, how dare he make such a joke? I said it was Fang Ping who said it. The old man didn't believe me and beat me up again. Jiang Chao almost cursed Fang Ping to death. This was too much. Was this how he did things? Was it easy for him? Here in Star Town, he was busy with work every day. He also had to guard Star Town. Was it fun for him to make a trip? When he returned, swearing and swearing, Jiang Hao was hiding in the air. He looked at his nominal younger brother without saying a word. His expression kept changing. Neo-martial artist. When Fang Ping said that Jiang Yuanhua had died in battle, the seemingly useless younger brother did not feel sad or afraid. There was only anger, an anger that would not stop until he killed the enemy. Without hesitation, he went straight to the catacombs. Was he reckless? very reckless, brainless. He did not consider how big the gap between a rank 8 and a true god was. The difference was like heaven and earth. He could crush him with one finger, but he did not think about it. When he found out that Jiang Yuanhua did not die and was deceived by Fang Ping, he quickly reverted to his original self, a rank 8 golden body that was mocked for being afraid of death. This was neo-martial artists. Neo-martial artists, Jiang Hao murmured. Did he really understand what neo-martial artists were? He had reincarnated into this generation of neo-martial artists and lived for almost 30 years. Did he really know what neo-martial artists were? Even Jiang Chao, who was useless in his eyes, dared to get angry. It was beyond his imagination. He had thought about it. If one day Warlord and Jiang Yuanhua died in battle, what would Jiang Chao's reaction be? Would he cry? Wet his pants? Would he sigh and die of depression? Or would he be careful and be willing to be a normal person and live his life in obscurity? Today he saw it. Jiang Hao's expression changed. He looked at Jiang Chao below. The damn fatty had started eating again. After eating, he went to patrol the streets of Star Town. He called it guarding Star Town and fending off thieves. In fact, he was just walking his food. If he had not seen the scene earlier, would he have believed that Jiang Chao had such a brave side? I don't understand neo-martial artists, Jiang Hao murmured. His figure disappeared. He did not understand neo-martial artists. Even after living for a few decades, he still did not understand neo-martial artists. Magic City, Fang Ping went straight to the Sky Division. Old Man Li and Wu Quishan sensed his aura and rushed over quickly. Fang Ping did not waste time. He went straight to the point. Old Man Li, go test him, fight him, and see if there's a chance to go further. I won't make a move if I don't die. If I die, I'll make a move myself and kill everyone on this side. After that, I'll escape to the fake Sky Cemetery. If you guys are in trouble, go to the small world in Star Town's Heavenly King's Eyes and ask for help from the God-crafting envoy. Both of them were stunned. Fang Ping raised his hand and said calmly, "It's okay. It's nothing. A heavenly king hiding in the dark is very strong, but it's not the time to despair. If I leave, you guys seal the passageway and hide on Earth. Let the cat and Heavenly would guard the 4 directions. If someone is attacking, let Jiang Hao attack. He is the reincarnation of the Devil Emperor Unquestionable Sword. Summon Jiao Li Wuji and the people from the Xuanda Grotto. Also, at critical moments, you can find some people to help. Kai Dai, Lin Hai will do. As for Yu Wei, act according to the situation. Let the cat do it. Also, if I attack this time, I won't hide my aura. I'll lure the other party to the fake Sky Cemetery directly. You guys don't have to participate. Evacuate immediately. It just so happens that I haven't seen old Zhang and the others for a while. These guys are quite quiet over there. I'll fight all 4 directions alone outside. This time, I'll bring them a good opponent and let that old heavenly king subduing exercise his hands and feet." Only at this moment did Wu Quishan have a chance to interrupt. Does the other party really have a heavenly king? Yes. Fang Ping nodded. And there might not be only one. But don't worry if they dare to come. If a saint comes, I'll kill them directly. If a heavenly king comes, I'll escape. If there's anything, you can let the cat inform me. Actually, I should have gone in a long time ago. I'm just worried about you guys. However, I'm the target of everyone now. It's better for me to leave. They want to kill me, not all humans. Humans have the cat, Heavenly Wood, Jiang Hao, and the God-crafting envoy. It's safer than now. If I, a thorn in their side, leave, they'll only set their sights on the fake Sky Cemetery. When the time comes, as long as they're careful, it'll be better than now. Fang Ping said, and laughed. Actually, you guys know better than me how to deal with the catacombs. If you have to admit defeat, then admit defeat. If I want to be tough, you guys will be tough and soft. There's no need to be like me. When I fight my way out of the fake sky cemetery, I'll definitely be a heavenly king powerhouse. Don't worry, I've proven my heavenly king. I won't come out until I kill a heavenly king. You've already decided to leave. Wu Quishan looked at him with a solemn expression. Fang Ping was determined to leave. As for the so-called not to be hostile if he could, it was just empty talk. Fang Ping was silent for a moment, nodded, and said, Yes, I've decided. No matter if Old Manly wins or loses, I'll kill those guys. Why? The other party is a hidden danger. I have to lure them away and nip them in the bud. Heavenly King is too dangerous. But no buts. Fang Ping laughed. What's the fake sky cemetery? It's the humans' own territory. Actually, we have more advantages there. We can leave if we want to, and we can stay if we want to. I also want to let old Zhang and the rest see how cowardly they are. In the past 2 months, I've killed more saints, emperanks, and true gods outside than all of them. Old Manly took a deep breath and said slowly, There's no room for negotiation? No. Fang Ping shook his head and said lightly, This lineage is very arrogant and sinister. They're not interested in ordinary people, but they're especially interested in geniuses. Geniuses are the target of their calculations. Now, the world's #1 genius is me, and the second is old Zhang. You're 1 too. There are too many human geniuses. If I, the #1 genius, don't lure them away, many of you will be in trouble. Don't worry, I can see it clearly. I'm not fooling around and provoking strong enemies for myself. This lineage has their eyes on geniuses. Unless I cripple myself now. Otherwise, my radiance will shine on the 3 realms and no one will be able to hide it. Wu Quishan sighed. Actually, you didn't have to say your last sentence. Fang Ping looked at him and asked curiously, Did I lie? Am I not the world's #1 genius? Find a 21-year-old saint slayer, and I'll admit that I was wrong. Since you're not wrong, why can't you say it? Fang Ping curled his lips. Seriously, it was just the truth. What kind of attitude was this? Wu Quishan smiled bitterly and said helplessly, I'm afraid the Fengtian lineage did not expect you to make up your mind so easily. Really, no one had expected Fang Ping's current attitude. Kill. No matter whether Old Manly won or lost, he would kill. He took the initiative to lure them out to chase after him and lure them into the fake heavenly grave. Fang Ping had never thought of letting the other party go, even if the other party had not harmed any humans at the moment. Wu Quishan was starting to sympathize with the people in the sea now, that annihilation or whatever, and the many demon powerhouses. Did these people think that Fang Ping was already prepared to kill all of them before he even made a move? It was not a consideration. He had made up his mind to kill all of them. The Fengtian lineage. They were an existence that even the God Forge envoy was somewhat afraid of. It was obvious how terrifying they were in the eyes of those who knew. As for Fang Ping, he went out for a trip. His determination was frighteningly firm. Fang Ping did not care about this. Instead, he said with some anticipation, This time, old Zhang and the rest will probably be pleasantly surprised. I've sent them another big one. To be honest, it's meaningless to plot against these saints in the outside world. Go in and play with a bunch of heavenly kings, walk on a tightrope. This is the life that I, Fang Ping, should enjoy. Both of them were speechless. Did old Zhang know what you were planning? Achoo, I have a bad feeling about this. At this moment, in the fake sky grave, Zhang Tao's expression was frighteningly serious. A bad feeling. Extremely bad. Even a heavenly king felt like dark clouds were looming over their heads. It was too scary. Beside him, Heavenly King Zhen also muttered, "It does feel like a catastrophe is coming. Kijong, it seems like something big is going to happen. Did something happen to the humans?" "It doesn't seem like it," Zhang Tao said, solemnly. "I feel like something is going to happen to us. Something big. Old Li, is a powerhouse who is broken 8 going to make a move? Us." Heavenly King Zhen frowned. "Something will happen to us. Who wants to go against us?" Indeed, he had a bad feeling. It felt like trouble was going to happen. However, at Spirit Emperor Dojo, everyone else was fighting with Hongyu. They had no time to care about them. Why would something happen? Beside him, Zhang Tao's premonition was getting stronger. "This won't do. Hurry and go to Hongyu's side. Be careful. They might join forces against us. Old Li, don't hide your strength now. Send me away at the crucial moment. You fight to the death. If you really die, I will avenge you." Heavenly King Zhen's face darkened. He glared at him. "I won't die even if you die. I'm being serious." Zhang Tao said sternly, "You don't have any potential, but I do. Anyway, I have a bad feeling this time. I keep feeling like someone is plotting against us. Moreover, it's the kind that can really be plotted against." Heavenly King Zhen's expression gradually turned serious. He stopped talking, but he was puzzled. What kind of trouble was it that even he felt was trouble? Could it be that those people are really going to join forces against us? But it's not to that extent. What other reason could it be? Both of them racked their brains, but still could not understand where this bad feeling came from. Chapter 1175. On an island in the Forbidden Ocean, a majestic palace had appeared on the barren island. The demon clan that had originally resided in this area had also become meat in the pot at this moment. In the palace, in the main hall, Extermination held a teacup and looked down at the cold Ming Ting. He smiled faintly and said, "Senior Ming Ting, you've met Fong Ping before. Can you tell me about him?" Ming Ting looked at him with a cold expression. "Since you want to know more about him, why don't you go to the human world and talk to him?" "That won't be necessary." Yunmie smiled. "Human King Fong Ping is a saint slayer after all. I admit that I'm no match for him, but sometimes it doesn't mean it'll be like this forever. Can you understand, Senior?" Ming Ting sneered in disdain. Yunmie smiled. "Senior, you don't agree or think I'm a frog in a well. Am I wrong?" Ming Ting said coldly, "You think you're worthy of being compared to Fong Ping? Since ancient times, how many people can be compared to Fong Ping? Even if Human King has all sorts of flaws, he's not someone an ignorant and arrogant person like you can compare to. If not for the Sky Ceiling Clan's strength, you wouldn't even be worthy of carrying his shoes." Yunmie smiled calmly. "Is that so? Senior, do you think Human King dares to use his longevity sword to fight me? Longevity sword has just become a true god, but you're already an emperor. What a joke." Yunmie's expression turned cold. "The winner takes all. If I'm stronger than him, I'll kill him as a powerhouse. Will you say that the emperor's realm is higher than yours when you meet him and look down on him for not daring to fight you at the same realm? You're just quibbling. If you really have the guts to fight Fong Ping, I'll admire you. In this era, I'll respect anyone who dares to fight Fong Ping as an emperor, regardless of whether they're arrogant or not." Ming Ting sneered. "If you really have the guts, why don't you fight Fong Ping?" Yunmie said indifferently, "It'll happen sooner or later, but not now. Playing the hero is courting death. There's no need for that. Fong Ping doesn't dare to fight me because the Sky Ceiling Clan is strong. If he fights me, the Sky Ceiling Clan won't have no one." You dare to bully the weak just because you have a powerful backer. Senior, do you also think that longevity sword is a weakling? Or are the humans the weaklings? Ming Ting didn't want to say anything more and didn't continue the conversation. He said indifferently, "What do you want?" "This old man cultivates my Tao, and you walk your Tao, stirring up a storm in the sea of bitterness. What do you want?" Yun Mie smiled. "Senior, please don't misunderstand. I'm just inviting you to watch a show. Not only Senior, this junior has also invited experts from all over to witness this battle. Since the sky-sealing bloodline had appeared, they didn't dare to bring shame to their clan, even if they were to perish. The longevity sword is an outstanding talent of the current generation. After all, it would be a shame if no one were to bear witness to his death in battle." Ming Ting said coldly, "You are courting death. If you dare to kill the longevity sword in front of the Three Realms powerhouses, Fong Ping will never let you off." Yun Mie smiled. "It's just a fair fight. If the longevity sword doesn't accept the challenge, then so be it. I won't force him. However, if I kill the longevity sword in a spar, the human king can't stand it and wants to attack me. The sky-sealing bloodline won't just sit by and watch. I've also done some research on the human race. Sparring, arena battles, fairness, this is also what the human race advocates." Yunye smiled. "You can either refuse, or, if the longevity sword dies in the spar, will Fong Ping turn against him?" "Refuse." Ming Ting looked at him and the indistinct aura behind him. He sneered and said, "If you didn't force him, why would the longevity sword agree to spar with you? Carry out an unfair spar? What a joke." "Senior." Yun Ye rose to his feet. His aura was overflowing as he said with a smile, "I invited you here to be a witness, Senior. I didn't invite you here to humiliate me. Yun Mie became an emperor. I should be earlier than you. I'm giving you face by calling you a senior. If you don't, you're trash. I called you here to be a witness because you fought alongside humans before. It's more satisfying for someone like you to watch a human powerhouse die. Moreover, Ming Ting became an emperor. He was the overlord powerhouse of the rogue cultivators in misery. However, was an emperor very impressive? He had become an emperor for 100 years. Ming Ting, a fellow who used someone else's Tao to become an emperor, dared to humiliate him again and again. Did he really think that he had no temper? Against a powerhouse like Ming Ting, who had an unstable Tao, he sealed Ming Ting's origin. It would be easy to kill him. What right did such a person have to talk nonsense in front of him? Meanwhile, catacombs, heavenly court, a few saints who were in seclusion appeared again. Someone in the basilica laughed. Interesting, interesting. The sky-sealing bloodline. Is it Emperor Feng's bloodline? He came out of seclusion at this time. Once he came out, he chose the tough human race. Looks like he's ambitious. I'm afraid Fong Ping is in trouble this time. Ha ha ha, that's right. Should I take it or not? If he did, Li Changsheng would die. The invincibility of the human race would be shattered, and the sky-sealing clan would become famous in the Three Realms. If you don't accept it, the sky-sealing lineage has a top-notch expert among them. Judging from how they're faring, they won't let this matter rest. It is indeed interesting. If you don't, we can talk to Annihilation. Maybe we can take the opportunity to attack the humans. How about the God-forging envoy? Someone asked. Very quickly, the governor smiled and said, "It's fine. Even if the God creation envoy proves the heavenly king, he wouldn't dare to easily go against the heavenly emperor." Sky Sword also said, "That's right, King Feng Tian Wang. Although I don't know much about him, his strength is true. If he doesn't die, even if the God creation envoy proves the heavenly king, there's a high chance that he won't be his match. Looks like there's going to be a good show to watch this time." Maybe we can see Fang Ping's look of despair. Fang Ping is domineering and arrogant. He does have the bearing of a king, but if he suffers a setback this time, it might disrupt his undefeatable momentum. Act according to the situation. Maybe we can take the opportunity to join forces with the sky-sealing lineage. Of course, we have to be careful. If the Heavenly Emperor is really alive, we have to be careful of this person. Cooperating with them is like asking a tiger for its skin. Everyone spoke one after another. Very soon, they came to a decision. To watch a show. This was a good show. If Fang Ping held it in, he would suffer a huge loss this time. If he could not hold it in, he would suffer a greater loss. They were also happy to see it happen. No matter who lost, it would be a good thing. At this moment, all the forces in the three realms were discussing. The sky-sealing lineage that suddenly appeared seemed to be very powerful. As soon as they came out of the mountain, they provoked the humans. Domineering. As for the humans, they had always been domineering. Even if they were very weak before, they were still domineering. At least after Fang Ping rose to power, the humans had always been domineering. There was really a good show to watch this time. The people from the 9 Emperors' bloodline accepted the invitation sent by Annihilation. Watch the battle. The first battle of the sky-sealing lineage's descendants was also a battle to establish their might. They used the most powerful human race to establish their might. They did not challenge Fang Ping. They challenged Longevity Sword. Although it was an emperor-level battle against an absolute powerhouse, Annihilation himself did not care. The others could not say anything either. The weak were prey to the strong. This was the current situation. Some were worried. Some were gloating. This time, if Fang Ping was careless, it would be a big deal. Moreover, it looked very unsolvable. If he agreed, Longevity's sword would be in danger. If he did not, the sky-sealing lineage would probably not let it go. Fang Ping was going to suffer this time, right? Just as all the forces were discussing. May 3rd, Human King Fang Ping responded. He accepted the challenge. 3 days later, May 6th, Longevity swordsman Li Changsheng fought the sky-sealing lineage. Fang Ping agreed. As soon as this was said, the 3 realms were in an uproar. Human King compromised. The domineering Human King compromised this time. He chose to let Li Changsheng, who had just achieved Dao validation, fight an emperor-level powerhouse. This was clearly sending him to his death. He was cannon fodder. In an instant, the voices of public opinion resounded throughout the 3 realms. Human King is afraid. He said before that the human race was invincible. Now he's afraid. He threw Longevity Sword out to fight the sky-sealing lineage. Fang Ping is selfish, but it's understandable that he chose to give up Longevity Sword to protect the human race. That's right. The human race is not in a good situation. Fang Ping has offended too many people. If he falls out with the sky-sealing lineage now, the human race will be in even more danger. Is this sky-sealing lineage really that powerful? I heard that there's a heavenly king in charge. No wonder. Although Fang Ping can fight a saint, there's still a big gap between him and a heavenly king. The heavenly court has been re-established. The 9 saints are in the sky. If he offends a heavenly king, no one can protect him. Some mocked. Some understood. They could understand Fang Ping's choice. At this juncture, it was difficult to choose between the future of the human race and Longevity Sword. However, Fang Ping was a human king. It was understandable that he chose the human race and gave up Longevity Sword. Even if everyone mocked him, they still sighed in their hearts. Fang Ping's life was tough. Making such a choice was probably very painful for him. Magic City, Macmao. Fang Ping had his own villa here. Outside the villa, a few MCMAU powerhouses who were covered in blood rushed back, one after another. Tang Feng's eyes were red. He shouted through the door, "Fong Ping, do you really want Dean Li to die? At most, we'll fight. Even if we die in battle, we can't let our own people die." Vice-Chancellor Fong. Among the crowd, there were many young people who were boiling with passion. They shouted, "Let's fight." Vice-Chancellor has fought everywhere and never compromised. Why did you agree this time? He's an emperor level. Why should he challenge Dean Li? Vice-Chancellor, are you going to watch Dean Li die? Vice-Chancellor, in order to protect you, Instructor Li walked the path of unification of all paths. At that time, it was a dead end. Now, the human race is prosperous. Everyone dares to fight. Why did Vice-Chancellor agree to this battle? At most, we'll fight this so-called sky-sealing lineage. Fight! This group of people was here to ask for help. They did not want to see Longevity's sword fall. This old man had fought for the human race for many years. The last time, he returned from the Forbidden Sea to help. As a rank 9 paragon, he killed a paragon to prove his Tao. How could such a hero of the human race be abandoned? The eyes of the group of young people were bloodshot. Someone raised his arm and shouted, "Vice-Chancellor Fong, Minister Fong, Fong Renlong." Those who have nothing to lose are not afraid of those who have shoes. We can't be afraid now just because we're wearing shoes. The more afraid we are, the easier it is to get into trouble. If we give up on Dean Li today, who will dare to fight for the human race tomorrow? Yes, Vice-Chancellor, please take back your order. We may be weak, but we're willing to fight. No matter how many people die, we must let the other party see the bravery of us humans. We will never compromise. Shut up. At this time, a group of people came from behind. Lu Polu and the other MCMAU elders walked over. Lu Polu, who reeked of blood, shouted, "What are you all doing? Are you trying to force me to abdicate?" Fong Ping has his own considerations. You guys are just a bunch of reckless people. What do you know? Lu Polu shouted, "Doesn't Fong Ping feel bad? Who is Li Changsheng? He's the living dead he brought out from the Nanjiang catacombs. For Li Changsheng, Fong Ping almost died a few times. Do you think you have the right to ask for help?" Lu Polu said angrily, "If we were strong, we wouldn't have to do this. We wouldn't have to let Fong Ping make such a choice. He has the ability of a saint. Would he be afraid of the so-called Fengtian clan? It's for you, for us, for the entire human race." Lu Polu's eyes were bloodshot. If we fall behind, we'll be beaten. If we're weak, we'll have to accept our fate. We can only choose a way that's more beneficial to us. With a heavenly king overseeing the forces, who will fight? You. You're not even qualified to die. Isn't it Fong Ping who will fight? If he dies, will you still have the good days you have now? You're forcing him to die, a bunch of idiots. Lu Polu said angrily, "Is Fong Ping afraid of death? If it weren't for us dragging him down, he'd be living a carefree life in the 3 realms. Today, someone actually questioned him because of a decision. If you're so capable, go fight. If you can kill a heavenly king, you call the shots." Lu Polu's ability might not be strong, only rank 9, but he was too old. In MCMAU, his seniority was higher than anyone else's. As soon as he spoke, everyone quieted down instantly. Tang Feng's eyes were red. He whispered, "Old Lu, we're not questioning Fong Ping. We're not satisfied." "You're not satisfied? That's because you're weak." Lu Polu yelled angrily, "Go fight then. Go kill that Fengtian clan member, and that'll solve the problem. Do you have the right to be dissatisfied? You don't even have the right. Do you, Mad Lion Tang Feng, really think that you're the Mad Lion Heavenly King?" Lu Polu pointed at his nose and scolded, "You're also an MCMAU veteran. How dare you mess around with a bunch of kids who don't know shit? Who gave you the guts to come to the king of man's cultivation ground and ask for permission. Remember, King of Man. The survival of the human race depends on the King of Man. Everyone is equal, but we also want world peace. In the survival of this race, the King of Man is heaven. What are you messing around for? You bastard! Lupolu looked around and yelled angrily, "Isn't everyone equal? Since you're not satisfied, go kill them yourselves. I won't stop anyone, but whoever kills a powerhouse from the Fontian clan will be cancelled. If it doesn't work, go to the catacombs and kill the 9 saints. We humans will also dare to fight the Fontian clan to the death. You don't have the ability to do that. All you can do is shout. What are you shouting for? Get lost immediately." Everyone clenched their fists. Someone sobbed softly. "Old Lou, we really don't want to see Instructor Lee. Old Lou." Instructor Lee's life has been full of misfortunes. After being injured in rank 6, he lay low for 10 years. He cut his golden body and almost died. Now, he has finally achieved Paragon after much difficulty. Bleeding but not tears. This was one of MCMAU's motto. However, today, a group of people had to watch Li Changsheng send himself to his death. They could not help but cry. They knew that it was not easy for Fang Ping, but to send Li Changsheng to his death with his own hands was still unacceptable. Someone thought of Fang Ping. Fang Ping and Li Changsheng were like father and son. Perhaps Fang Ping was the one who felt the worst at this moment. For a moment, the atmosphere was mournful. Everyone looked sorrowful. Tang Feng squeezed his fist until it bled. Golden blood dripped. Then he roared and turned to leave. He said furiously, "Fight! Fight! Fight to rank 9, fight to Paragon, fight to Heavenly King. If Li Changsheng dies, every human will be a longevity sword." He could not accept this. He was angry too. However, Lupolu's words set off a monstrous wave in his heart. Yes, they could not accept this. However, they did not even have the right to be. They did not have the right to judge Fang Ping's choice because Fang Ping did it for their survival. However, why was he so unwilling? Tang Feng's eyes were bloodshot. Rank 8 trash. I'm still not brave enough. Not brave enough. Can a rank 8 only fight a rank 8? In the past, didn't a human rank 8 fight a rank 9 too? Why not? Who said that a rank 8 could only fight a rank 8? Fight a rank 9. Even if they could not win, the realization between life and death would also stimulate the eruption of their potential, allowing them to advance a little faster. Tang Feng left. The faces of the people who were begging for their lives turned red. The next moment, in the crowd, Zhao Lei roared, "Go! Fight! Kill the catacombs! Kill all their powerhouses! We're too weak. Do you want to beg for your lives? Why can't we change everything by ourselves? Go!" The crowd's emotions were surging. Watching them leave, Guo Shengquan, who was beside Lupolu, sighed. "Should we go and persuade Vice-Chancellor Fang? I'm afraid he's feeling terrible now." Lupolu looked at the villa and sighed softly. What else could he do? After making such a decision, Fang Ping was probably sadder than anyone else, blaming himself. However, things had come to this. Did he really have to fight the Fengtian clan and the catacombs' heavenly court at the same time? If so, the human race was really in danger. In the villa, they said, Fang Ping was holding chopsticks, picking up a big piece of beef, laughing. Eat your fill, and get to work. Big cat, eat as much as you can. I'll look for the sea guardian later, and ask for a big fish head. This time, I'll have to trouble you to pay more attention. Big cat. The cat ate until its mouth could not close. It said vaguely, "Just don't let me fight." Fang Ping laughed. "Fight? You don't have to do anything this time. I'll kill all of them alone. It's hard for me to kill a saint, killing a few emperor levels. What are they? I'll slash down with all my strength. When they're unprepared, I'll slash one at a time. As he said that, Fong Ping looked at Heavenly Wood, laughing. Elder Mu, why aren't you eating? Heavenly Wood was helpless. I'm a tree. A tree. Why should I eat beef? As for the cat tree beside him, it was eating with gusto. Heavenly Wood could only say that this fellow had a master like a servant. The human race isn't weak. Fong Ping ignored Heavenly Wood, looking at the people in the house. Saint Level, Elder Mu Yu, and Jiang Hao, Emperor Level, Old Man Li is almost there. There's also Di Xing and Ming Ting. The weakness is still in my hands. The three of you, Desperate Realm, Old Wu, Cat Tree, Jiao, Boundless Force. There's also Dragon Islands, Longxian, Immortal Seeking Islands, Yuwuhua, Mystic Virtue Realms, True God, Xian Qi. These people can go and ask for help at critical moments. They'll all come. Is the human race weak? Not at all. Those few Fengyun saints, since they've invested once, and I'm not dead, they'll continue to invest. They'll be wary of fighting the Fengtian clan, fighting the so-called 9 heavenly court saints in the catacombs won't be a problem. Fong Ping was full of confidence and fighting spirit. Today's meal isn't a farewell feast. It's a celebration feast. Fong Ping laughed. That's good too. Let Lion Tang and the rest know how difficult it is for me. Provoke them. Let them understand that it's not that I'm not doing my best. It's that they're too weak. Among these people, they might even reach the pinnacle one day. Pull those fellows who are about to reach the pinnacle over. Old Man Li, when you go back to fight, be more miserable. Don't pretend. Your golden body is broken, desperate, about to fall. It doesn't matter. You still have to shout a few words. Sad and desperate. The human race is helpless. They can only rely on themselves. Needless to say, this is very effective. Back then, when Senior Chen Yaozu and the rest broke through, it was because they saw the desperate situation of the humans that they broke through. You too, Senior Tian too. If you're not in despair, you won't know what hard work is, what fighting is. Fong Ping ate until his mouth was dripping with oil. He laughed loudly. When the time comes, the humans will reach the pinnacle again. I think there might be a few of them. That'll be awesome. We'll fight, a few pinnacles will emerge, and we'll kill some emperor ranks while we're at it. Big Cat, there are many demons over there. I'll kill them. You bring the corpses back. When we get back, we'll forge weapons and eat their meat. The humans can become stronger. The cat nodded solemnly. I'll keep an eye on it. Food. So much food. How could I ignore it? The outside world thought that Fong Ping was sad. Who knew that Fong Ping did not feel sad at all? He was eating meat and drinking wine. He had already arranged everything. This time, he was going to the fake, heavenly grave to look for old Zhang and the rest to play. What was wrong with that? As for the people in the outside world who were sad, helpless, and desperate, when he killed those fellows, these people would only feel excited and refreshed. With their moods lifted, their breakthroughs would be smoother. While eating, Fong Ping lamented, "It's really not easy for me to make the human race stronger. Bearing the infamy, who's more difficult than me? When old Zhang was in power, he wasn't as reliable as I am. Everyone was helpless. Stop praising yourself. Fong Ping, this fellow, had to ruin the atmosphere at this time, every time. Also, those fellows in the outside world were almost going crazy from the stimulation. Was this really appropriate? Even if you went out to say a few words hypocritically, it would still be better than eating and drinking here, right? Was it appropriate? That was what they thought, but no one went out. Whatever. If it was exciting, so be it. If those fellows' hearts were not good, they might really explode later. Wu Quishan thought in his heart and felt a little apologetic. His own wife seemed to be among them. Forget it, no matter. Let Lu Fengru go crazy for once. She might even achieve rank 9. The group of people continued to eat and drink to their heart's content. What crisis, what bloody battle, what Li Changsheng did not have long to live. Who cared? Did they not see that Li Changsheng himself was eating until his mouth was covered in grease? This fellow had never thought that he would die. Fang Ping was here. If he died, that would be strange. As for the people outside who were rushing to his funeral, old man Li could only say that these fellows were thinking too much. Chapter 1176. Time passed slowly. The Forbidden Sea was a dangerous place where almost no one wandered. Now, people often wandered in the sea. Watch the show. Everyone was ready to watch the show. On the human side, Li Changsheng had agreed to attend. Now that extermination had invited everyone, this place instantly became the focal point of the 3 realms. Experts appeared one after another. Some hid in the dark, waiting for an opportunity. World Island. This was the new name extermination had given to the island he occupied. Over the past few days, people came and went on the island. From time to time, experts would arrive to watch the battle. Today, an overlord of the 3 realms, the new heavenly court, had arrived on the huge island. Extermination personally walked out of the island's entrance. He led a few demons in human form to the edge of the island, ready to welcome them. The new heavenly court was extremely powerful in the 3 realms. The 9 saints' suppression, beside extermination, a rough-looking man with golden eyes sealed off the surroundings said in a low voice, "Young master, when we meet later, don't mention challenging these experts for now." Extermination chuckled. "I know what I'm doing. Moreover, King Huai, King Feng, and the others are nothing. Do you think the 9 saints will object if I kill them?" Then extermination smiled, faintly. "I don't think there's a need to waste too much time on these people after killing the longevity sword. The ones I look forward to in the 3 realms are the human king, Fang Ping, and the others. Li Zhen, Fang Ping, and Zhang Tao are the 3 heroes of the human race. In the previous era, Li Zhu and unquestionable Jian should have been the heroes. Above them are Hong Yu and the chaotic heavenly king. They are also heroes of the era. Extermination said softly, "Before Master came, he told me to practice with true gods. However, after leaving the mountain, I feel that these true gods might not be of much use." He had seen Luo Yu. He was average. His body was slightly stronger, but it did not mean that he was strong. He also saw Long Xian, who had come with Cosmic Dragon. This dragon expert had a strong body, but he had only ascended to true god. Among true god experts, the longevity sword was worth looking forward to. This was because he had killed a true god when he reached Tao validation. Beside him, the boorish man warned, "Young master, don't be careless. There's naturally a reason why Master made such arrangements. Although young Master has fought many battles and often sparred with us, his aura is still slightly lacking. After killing a few true gods and accumulating an unrivaled aura, he could then fight experts. This way, he wouldn't be at a loss. If your first battle is against a venerable sovereign, you will be easily injured in a life-and-death battle." Extermination nodded and smiled. "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." As he spoke, his eyes lit up and he looked at a dazzling flying ship in front of him. He smiled and said, "They're here. Among the talents of this generation in the Earth domain, I'm actually looking forward to the Fate King the most." What a pity. He felt a little regretful. His master had mentioned Fate King a few times. In fact, it was the best whetstone for him. At the critical moment, they could become emperors, gather the destiny of the Earth realm, and control 100 deities of the Earth realm. If Fate King was still alive, he might not have challenged the Longevity Sword, but Fate King. It was a pity that the Fate Monarch had fallen. Not only did he die, but he had also died at Fong Ping's hands. It was clear that Fong Ping's destiny was abundant. This time, extermination only wanted to blunt Fong Ping's edge. He had no intention of fighting Fong Ping now. Even though his mentality was strong and he might be able to seal Fong Ping's origin, he did not consider fighting Fong Ping right now. As he thought about this, extermination stepped into the air and looked at the flying ship and the powerhouses standing proudly in front of it. He smiled and said, "Extermination greets the Heavenly Sword Saint and the Temple Master Azure, Inc." There were 3 saint-level powerhouses from the catacombs this time. Not all of them came. The 3 saints, Heavenly Sword, Azure Inc., and Haiyu, were here. Although Azure Inc. and Haiyu were also antiques, their statuses in the Heavenly Court were not high. Back then, Azure Inc. had not become a saint yet. On the other hand, Heavenly Sword, one of the 36 saints, was already a saint back then. At this moment, Heavenly Sword raised his brows slightly. He glanced at extermination and nodded slightly. He smiled faintly and said, "Is Heavenly King Fong doing well?" "My master is doing well." Extermination said with a smile, "He often talks about you seniors and is filled with emotion. The glory of the ancient times is still unforgettable." The look in Heavenly Sword's eyes was a little complicated. He said faintly, the ancient times are over. Everything starts again." Today, he was conferred the title of the new Heavenly Court's Seal Envoy. Although not many people called him that, Heavenly Sword still felt a little sad. Some things were in the past. Now that he had recovered, he should start again. His old acquaintances were either dead or hidden. Heavenly King Fong. No matter what his reputation was, he was indeed a top powerhouse in the ancient times. Heavenly Sword still felt a little emotional. At this moment, Heavenly Sword looked at the monsters behind him and said nothing. He did not speak, but Ching Emo looked at them a few more times and raised her eyebrows slightly. Ching Emo had become a saint during the era of the Earthly Emperor God dynasty. At that time, she had also been in contact with some powerhouses in the sect world. At this moment, with her saint-level strength, she could naturally see through their true forms at a glance. They were somewhat familiar. She had some impression of them in her memory. 8 powerhouses. Although the monster race had many powerhouses, 3 peak-level emperors and 5 peak-level true gods didn't appear out of thin air. While Yunmia was chatting with them, more people arrived. Saint Yu Wei and Ling Xiao. As soon as Ling Xiao arrived, she looked at the rugged man and frowned slightly. The rugged man also looked at Ling Xiao and nodded slightly without saying anything. Ling Xiao was only a peak-level powerhouse, so she couldn't see through his true form immediately. However, she felt vaguely familiar with him. Soon, Ling Xiao suddenly frowned. Before Saint Yu Wei could speak, she looked at the rugged man and said in a deep voice, "It's you?" Yunmia smiled and said nothing. The rugged man nodded again and said softly, "Greetings, perfected Lord Ling Xiao." Ling Xiao's eyes were cold. Coiled crocodile. He was the Mount of Go Chu Mountain's venerable Zi Yang. The rugged man frowned slightly and was a little unhappy. However, he still replied, "Venerable Zi Yang died many years ago, and Coiled Crocodile has become an emperor for many years. Perfected Lord Ling Xiao, it's useless to mention these things." Ling Xiao said coldly, "It's useless." However, during the war between North and South in the past, all of you betrayed us and caused chaos in the war. Many experts died. Coiled Crocodile said in a deep voice, "Perfected Lord Ling Xiao, The demon race is also a member of the three realms. What betrayal! Venerable Z Yang imprisoned us. Why can't we leave after the seal was broken? Perfected Lord, you have to know that the demon race has an emperor as well. It's not without roots. Yu Wei and the others had never experienced such things before and did not feel much about it. When she saw that Ling Xiao was about to start a conflict with the demon race, she raised her hand slightly and stopped Ling Xiao from speaking. She looked at Yun Mia. Yun Mia bowed slightly and greeted, "Greetings, Fairy Yu Wei." Yu Wei did not say much and asked indifferently without even looking at Sky Sword and the others, "Feng hasn't come out of seclusion." "My master sensed the changes in the Tao and is in seclusion. He sure is bold, but you're bold too," Yu Wei said coldly. "Aren't you afraid that the consequences will be unpredictable if you fight Longevity Sword?" Yunmia smiled. "Fairy Yu Wei, you must be joking. I've heard a lot about human powerhouses. This time I came out of seclusion and was itching for a fight. That's why I sent the challenge letter. If Longevity Sword is unwilling, I won't force it." He then added, "It's just a friendly match. Please don't misunderstand. Fairy Yu Wei, misunderstand?" Yu Wei smiled disdainfully. "I don't mind. It's your freedom to challenge whoever you want. Since Feng Ping has agreed, I won't interfere. However, the human race isn't without powerhouses. Heavenly King Zhen and King Wu are both Heavenly King powerhouses. Today's friendly match is fine. But even if your master is Feng, will he be able to protect you?" Saint Yu Wei added, "If the Sky Sealing clan fought humans after leaving seclusion, it would not be good for the North Emperor's bloodline, which had just joined forces with the human race. If Longevity Sword was killed, there was no telling what Feng Ping would do. If that happened, the human race would become enemies with the Sky Sealing clan. She would be in a difficult position. Heavenly King Zhen was not a weakling." Extermination smiled. "You worry too much, Fairy Yu Wei." Extermination said, "It's just a friendly match. Up to you." Yu Wei didn't say anything else. With a wave of her hand, a palace appeared in the sky. Yu Wei brought Ling Xiao into the palace, and the palace instantly disappeared into the void. Clearly, she had come to watch the battle and had no intention of interfering. Sky Sword Saint glanced at her and chuckled. "Today is the day of the friendly match. I wonder if Feng Ping and Li Changxing dare to come. Extermination, we won't disturb you. We'll just watch the match on our own." Having said that, the spaceship broke through the void and disappeared into the darkness. Powerhouses arrived one after another. Almost everyone from the Nine Emperors' bloodline had arrived, except for Yuan Gang, who was missing. Some stood proudly in the void, while others entered the spatial rifts. One after another, more true gods arrived. There were people from the sky beyond skies and the overseas immortal islands, including some demons from the Forbidden Sea. At Mount Imperial Sea's side, Demon Swordsman arrived with a few ninth-grade demonic beasts. He stopped far away and didn't approach. After finding a place with no one around, the few demons stopped in the air. Silence. There were many powerhouses, even some rank 9s. However, at this moment, no one made a sound. They all remained silent. The Sky Sealing clan was challenging the human Longevity Sword Saint. Both sides were powerhouses. Both sides had powerhouses. This was not an ordinary battle. Amidst this strange silence, in the distance, the void trembled. A passageway came from afar, piercing through space. "They're here." Someone growled. The human powerhouses were here. The void trembled. In other places, some powerhouses' silhouettes flashed. Yu Wei, Sky Sword, and the others also revealed their appearances, appearing and disappearing. The passageway pierced through thousands of miles away. Soon, someone stepped out. Feng Ping. Fong Ping, with his neat, short hair, neat martial arts uniform, and military boots, did not look bloated. Instead, he looked capable. He did not conceal his aura, nor did he deliberately release his aura. It was just the aura of a normal paragon. When Fong Ping walked out, Extermination's pupils contracted slightly when he saw Fong Ping. This was the first time he saw King Fong Ping. Fong Ping's reputation was well known throughout the three realms. Even in the depths of misery, he had heard of Fong Ping's name. Today, he finally met him. There was no ostentatiousness like he imagined, no anger and resentment when he saw him. There was only calmness. 21 years old. For a moment, Extermination felt a little uneasy. The calmer he was, the more uneasy he felt. Whether Fong Ping was angry or overbearing, he could accept it. However, Fong Ping's calmness made him feel uneasy. Behind him, 3 Emperor-level demons and 5 true god demons looked like they were facing a formidable enemy. They were not afraid when they saw Fong Ping. Instead, it was a cat that walked out lazily behind Fong Ping. Fong Ping. This time, the cat did not walk on its hind legs. Like an ordinary cat, it landed on the ground on all fours. Its gait was not elegant, and its plump body looked like it was about to fall. It followed Fong Ping out of the passageway, lazily yawning. Its whiskers shook, its big eyes half closed, as if it had not woken up yet. As if it had sensed the demon's aura, the cat opened its eyes lazily and looked at the opposite side. When it saw the 8 monsters opposite it, it ignored the coiled crocodile and looked at the other Emperor-level demon, saying lazily, You're that sick a deer? You're not dead. Gong Juanzi said you ran away. This cat thought you were dead. It sounded like a curse. However, at this moment, the handsome young Emperor-level demon's expression changed slightly. He bowed slightly and said, Lu Shu greets Sky Emperor. The cat yawned again. Lu Shu, that's right, it's you. You used to be a true god, and now you're an Emperor level. That's pretty fast. When Gong Juanzi came out, he was only an Emperor level. Sky Emperor, please excuse me. Lu Shu's expression was solemn. It deliberated over its answer, but did not dare to say much. It was Gong Juanzi's mount. In the past, Quechang Mountain was famous for its beast taming. However, Gong Juanzi mainly studied beast taming techniques. He was not too concerned about the strength of his mount. He mainly used it as a means of transportation. In the past, Lu Shu only had true god-level strength. Now, it had become a top-notch Emperor-level powerhouse. During the conversation between the cat and the deer, Meteoric Annihilation looked at Fong Ping a few times, as if he wanted to speak. However, Fong Ping did not even look at him. Fong Ping looked left and right. He was not looking randomly. Instead, he was looking at the places where the powerhouses were hiding. They were all saints. Saint Yue, Guardian Wind Cloud, Fong Ping greeted them in a few directions. He nodded slightly, a faint smile on his face. Yue and Wind Cloud's silhouettes flashed. They nodded at Fong Ping as a response. Very quickly, they disappeared into the void again. Fong Ping looked at the area where Sky Sword and the rest were. He said lightly, Try to stay as far away from the catacombs as possible. Don't get too close to me. I don't trust my enemies to get too close to me. Otherwise, I'll think that they're hostile. If they're hostile, that means they need to fight. The spaceship appeared. This time, it was no longer hidden. Qing Mo said coldly, Fong Ping, do you really think that no one can do anything to you? Fong Ping looked at her and tilted his head slightly. He seemed a little curious and expectant. You dare to challenge me to a battle? I don't like to fight women, but I don't mind sending you back to the furnace to be reforged. Qing Mo's expression did not look too good. Fong Ping was arrogant, as usual. He still provoked the catacomb's 9 saints, as usual. It was as if he had not considered the consequences at all. One had to know that the Sky Ceiling clan was challenging human powerhouses now. Fong Ping suddenly laughed. Do you think I'm crazy? The Sky Ceiling clan is here. Would they dare to offend you? If you join forces, you can easily destroy the human race. Fong Ping laughed. He shook his head slightly. As expected, long hair but short knowledge. The ancients are the ancients. Men and women are the same. Around them, some powerhouses were speechless. Some looked at their long hair, then at the unique human powerhouse's short hair. Some could not help but laugh. Some snorted softly. Fong Ping ignored her. It was as if he was certain that she would not dare to challenge him. Only then did he look at Doom, who was frowning. He smiled. Your name is Doom? There was no anger on his face. There was no arrogance. However, this tone and attitude of a senior talking to a junior made Doom a little uncomfortable. Fong Ping, although he did not look down on him, he seemed to be looking down on him. He communicated with the saints first before paying attention to him, the main character of today. Suppressing the unhappiness in his heart, Yun Mia smiled. Yun Mia greets Human King. You're welcome. Fong Ping smiled. If you were, you wouldn't have challenged the longevity sword. King Run, you've misunderstood. Fong Ping raised his hand and stopped him from continuing. He smiled. It's nothing. It's just a challenge. Emperor-level challenging a paragon is also in line with your clan's style. It's nothing. Having said that, Fong Ping looked at Li Chongsheng, who was walking out of the passageway in silence. He smiled. Instructor, are you confident you can kill an emperor? Old Manly looked at him and said calmly, I'll do my best. It's okay. It's normal if you can't beat him. You've just achieved Paragon. It's not embarrassing to admit defeat if you can't beat him. If anyone thinks it's embarrassing, the rank 9s here can challenge me at will. I'm a Paragon. If you rank 9s can hurt even a strand of my hair, I'll consider you powerful. Fong Ping joked, but the others could not bring themselves to laugh. None of the rank 9 martial artists who were watching the battle spoke. Hurt Fong Ping? He had the ability to kill a saint. The difference between a rank 9 and him was like heaven and earth. He could kill a rank 9 with a single breath. Although Fong Ping did not say it directly, he was obviously mocking Doom for challenging a martial artist who was 1 rank lower. Doom did not show it, but he was furious in his heart. Once Fong Ping came, it was as if this was his home field. He was completely controlling the situation. Fong Ping did not care what he thought. He reached out and grabbed. Below him, the seawater rose into the air and froze directly, turning into an iceberg. Fong Ping did not care about the others' gazes. Some tables and chairs appeared out of thin air. Soon, Fong Ping sat down. He called out to the others and smiled. Sit, Guardian Wind Cloud, Sage Yue, Rainbow Butterfly, Cosmic Dragon. If you don't mind, come over and have a chat. Watch the Emperor-level Paragon fight. It's just a small matter. Why so serious? Everyone was silent. In the next moment, Taoist Wind Cloud appeared, smiling. I won't stand on ceremony, then. It's an honor to taste King Ren's tea. Taoist Wind Cloud brought Earth Xing, who was reluctant, flying across the sky and landing on the iceberg in an instant. On the other side, Yu Wei hesitated for a moment before landing with Ling Xiao. Cosmic Dragon and Rainbow Butterfly also hesitated for a moment before arriving with Yu Wuhua and Long Xian. The saints gathered. Fong Ping did not seem to care much about the battle, greeting everyone warmly. At this moment, he seemed to remember something. He looked at Doom, who was floating in the air, and smiled. Don't mind me. I like to make friends. I'm used to it. Teacher, go and spar with Doom. Stay a little further away from here. Don't get us involved. Have a cup of tea. It's rare to have some peace and quiet. Old Man Lee held the sky-crushing sword in his hand. Without a word, he took a step in the air and walked tens of li away. There was no one there. Old Man Lee's chi surged. He watched Doom from afar, without saying a word. Doom's expression changed. It was not because he felt Old Man Lee's power, but because he suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. Fong Ping was drinking tea and watching the show while he needed to fight. If Fong Ping watched the battle solemnly from the side, he would feel more comfortable. But now, Fong Ping was not nervous at all. He just sat there drinking tea and watching them. In the end, Doom felt like he had become a monkey show in Fong Ping's eyes. Seeing that Doom was not moving, Fong Ping asked in surprise, "What's wrong? Aren't you going to spar?" Doom took a deep breath, a smile on his face. He said slowly, "It's a spar, but it's a battle between powerhouses. Fists and kicks have no eyes." Fong Ping waved his hand and said casually, "It's fine. Spar is also a battle. According to humans, once you're in the arena, you're responsible for your own life and death. It's nothing. If Teacher Lee beats you to death, don't worry. I'll get someone to send you back. Oh, right. Do you want to leave your address? I still don't know where you live." Doom's eyes suddenly sharpened. He looked at Fong Ping and said with a fake smile, "There's no need to trouble the Human King. If the longevity sword dies in Doom's hands, I hope the Human King won't take it to heart." "I won't," Fong Ping said with a smile. "I'm no match for the Fengtian clan. What's there to take it to? If your Heavenly King comes out and wants to kill me, won't I be in danger? Emperor level and Heavenly Kings fight paragons. Isn't this the style of your clan? I'm just an impasse realm martial artist. Why would I take it to heart? You make it sound like I can easily kill you emperor-level martial artists." Fong Ping said it as if he was joking. He glanced at the demons. There were 8 of them. Fong Ping looked them up and down, like an auntie shopping at the market, scanning the quality of the food. After a while, Fong Ping turned his head and joked with the cat. "Lying on the ground. Don't look at them blindly. Some of the demons aren't edible. They don't taste that good." The cat looked up at him innocently. "I'm not looking." The 8 demons' expressions changed for a while. They could not stand their gazes. One of the demons snorted softly. Soon, the 8 demons disappeared into the void and did not show up again. Fong Ping's gaze hurt the demons. At this moment, Doom smiled and did not look at Fong Ping anymore. His eyes, however, were glinting coldly. Fong Ping, how arrogant! He was sure that Fong Ping's mentality was not as strong as his. If he fought with Fong Ping, he was confident that he could seal Fong Ping. Was Fong Ping really a match for him without the enhancement of the origin path? That might not be the case. What right did Fong Ping have to look down on him? "I'll destroy the longevity sword. Let's see if you can still smile." Doom snorted inwardly. He stepped into the air and threw a seal. In the next moment, the void in the area where Old Man Lee was trembled. "A saint's token," Sky Sword said in a low voice, frowning slightly. Did the Sky Sealing clan obtain this saint's token by accident? Or did they get it after killing an ancient saint? And Annihilation's actions were also very obvious. Sealing the void. This was often a sign of a battle to the death. As long as one side was alive, the void would not be broken. This was not giving the enemy a chance to escape. A saint's token. Fong Ping picked up his teacup and took a sip. He chuckled and said meaningfully, "How did you know that I wanted to collect this? Thank you so much. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.